Coming up tonight, it's the final week of ECS, and the last chance for one remaining team to claim the final spot at the SSE Arena Wembley this June. And today, it's time for our two finals contenders to step up, as Avangar take on Mousesports before Ninjas in Pyjamas lock heads with Optic. Although it all looks to be over for Avangar after last week's performance, they have one last chance to take to the stage in London if they make it to the grand finals this week. But it's not going to be plain sailing, as their first hurdle comes in the form of Mousesports. Losing out to NIP in Week 4's Grand Finals, the Swedes made light work of Mouse, thanks to some impressive plays from Rez. However, with a LAN win against Valiant under their belt since then, Mouse may prove a force to be reckoned with for the CIS side. The boys from NIP also have one last hurdle before they can get their hands on their Grand Finals place. After a first place finish last week, all they need to do to ensure their spot in London is finish ahead of Avangar. However, it's Optic who will be their first opponent, returning after a second place finish in Week 3 after losing out against Vitality. With a 16-11 loss to the Frenchman on Inferno, Overpass was MSL's chance for redemption. And with some clinical AWP action, locked it down 16-7. However, with British representative Alex hungry to play on his home stage, it was Vitality who would prove victorious with a swift 16-6 win on Nuke. Although their chance to grace the stage might be over, will Optic still prove a thorn in NIP's side and hold their run for the final spot in London?
Out of position. Oh, that's a nice flick. And they have no idea he's there. What is this? Oh my god!
Oh, he's animated. That's a kill. He can go to the quick nowhere. My god, ball has done it. Watch the season. Oh my god, it's the pistol. And Mages helped them out. They might have done it. 3 kills at the start. It's a 4-on-2. Mages is surely going down here, but he's already so strong. That is absolutely epic.
Welcome to the final week of the internet. Yes, it all ends after this, doesn't really? Welcome to Santa Monica. That is the Santa Monica Pier. Glorious place to be. There's a Bubba Gump's fish place on there. I haven't been there yet, but we have been to. Where was it? Was it Arlington? We used to go to Bubba Gump's fish place.
First time was in Anaheim.
Anaheim, okay. They both start with 8, that's good enough for me. Welcome to the ECS show. It is the final week of the online bracket before we go towards the finals in London. That is DDK. That is the Stormborn, Eric Stromberg. Welcome back, everybody. It is week 5 here at ECS. Again, these final teams are playing for a spot at the finals. Where are the finals? Where can you go and see these teams live? It is in London, ecs.faceit.com. We're not doing it in order production. I'm doing it just now. Get some tickets for the finals. ecs.faceit.com is where you can find the information. They're in London. They are 8th and 9th of June 2019, just a short few weeks away. We've got plenty of qualified teams already. You can go into your CSGO client. It'll even show you the teams that have qualified already, and it'll show you how many slots are remaining, and you can favorite that, and then maybe it'll be featured in CSGO next month if you cannot make it to the finals yourself, so you can still take part, have your own little participation in your own way. Let's have a look at the format. It is the last week, so you might think, oh, surely we know the format by now, but no! The first 3 weeks are different to the final 2 weeks. The first 3 weeks, if you win the week, you make it to land. The final 2 weeks, you're trying to accrue as much prize money as possible, and the people with the most will finish those final slots. So we thought NIP were qualifying last week because of Avangar's absence, but Fours are not playing this week, so Avangar took their spot. So it is still all to play for mainly between those two. We can have a look at the bracket and see how this is going to go. So we can see Avangar are in the top and NIP are in the bottom part of the bracket. So they may be facing each other in the finals, but who knows? I mean, it's a pretty tough bracket, I would say, especially for Avangar. They've got Mousesports to play with. And then if they beat that test, they've got the Fnatic and Virtus Pro. So I think it's quite the gauntlet for them in this bracket. What do you guys think?
It's not easy. It's not easy at all.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting because I think actually Fnatic are 4th ranked in the world now on HLTV right now. NIP are 5th. Which kind of, I don't think it's worth it to really talk about Mousesports just yet because they're still pretty new and racking up those results under this lineup. But yeah, it's really, really tough. Virtus Pro as well, always a wild card at this point. I think we don't know necessarily what to expect from them. They can be kind of explosive, and their new players really promising. So they're a lot of fun to watch at the very least.
let's look at today's schedule. This is the on-stream schedule. The others will be taken care of by the community commentators. So, Avangar and Mousesports will be our first game of the day, and then Optic versus NIP the second. So we're following the story of the main two teams who are trying to qualify for LAN here in the European segment of the show. Now, I've got some. Okay, right. I'm the host, so it's time to talk about me. We need Bard off cam because I got some new stuff. I think it's pretty cool. It's kind of nerdy. Actually, I forgot some of it in my drawer, but where's the Bard off camera? Press the button.
I like this as like a reference to the orange box. Do you remember the orange box?
When you say remember, wait, hold on a second. Okay, so look. So I got a new watch strapper, right? But you might notice that it has a number on it. Oh, it's just kind of weird. All right, hold on.
Is there stat track? Is that how many people you've killed with your watch?
No. That would be a cool one, though. I definitely could find a way to wreck somebody with the watch. All right, so let's see. There's a number. There's another number here. All right, so do you recognize that number?
Oh, yes.
It's the bomb code.
Yeah.
There you go.
So because you could, this is, there's a vintage version of this, which is in my drawer, which basically is the French Marines used to make a watch strap from what do you call it? From parachute cord, because when they used to get a watch in the military, they only got the head and the pins, so they made these from parachute cord. So this is like an imitation of that, and they used to have codes on them, so I've put the bomb code on them. This one's better. Come on. I've got to do the wrist roll. Press the button. Look. Marvelous.
Whoa.
Gorgeous.
That's
Gorgeous.
a nice turn.
Anyway, Dan, what were you saying? Sorry.
No, just saying that I just remember that this reminds me of the orange box, which was like it's like a compilation of a few Valve games.
Oh, I thought you meant like the building
long
blocks
time ago
of the maps in general. But yeah, I remember the orange box. I bought that. I got TF2 with that. I
Right,
have 500 hours in TF2. Bet you didn't know that. Anyway, let us know how many hours in TF2 that you have on our socials. At ECS on Twitter, or you can use a Facebook account. Either or is fine, and you can use our own Twitters as well. But here's the main bits and bobs. I have to do theirs. Really, we want to do ours, but such is life. They do pay us money, so that's fair enough. Facebook.com on Instagram, always good to watch as well. ECS on Twitter and on the YouTube. Today, maybe tomorrow, since we've got so much programming today. Tomorrow we'll put out the flamethrower video. But if we have time, then we're going to, we've got a new video for you this week as well. How much time do we have before the game? Roughly. Okay, he just looks at me and is like, oh, I should talk to him in response. All right, can we play
My telepathy's not working right now.
a little bit? Can we play a teaser of like the next video? Oh, fine, do the rest of the work first. All right, let's go through the veto. Let's go through the veto and see what maps these teams will be playing on. I suppose we should go through the rest of the show. 265 days since we could draw on a map, by the way. All right, so Vertigo has been insta-vetoed, which is a good one for Mousesports because we've seen that at Avangar. They had like the Wall of Smoke retake attempts and things like that going on. So right here we've got Train, the first pick from Mousesports. Inferno will be the pick for Avangar, and then Mirage. I mean, it makes me think of old Mousesports when I look at the Mirage pick, but I don't know what to expect. But I see open maps, I think of Woxic. What do you think?
I see all the rounds, and then all the rounds, and then most of the rounds, James. I feel like it's going to be very close
Very cryptic.
on Train and Inferno. But, I mean, these are maps which I think for both of these teams, the map pools in that sense line up really well for a really close match. And Avangar have such a... We've seen the kind of style of play they have and where they bleed you out. They bleed you dry, and they really test your patience, and they do it really well. Like, they're a great team from that perspective. And Mousesports is an explosive team, so I'm really curious how that works with the stylistic matchup. So I feel like out of the gate, Mousesports have some challenges, but if they make it to Mirage, I feel like I'm favoring Mousesports pretty heavily because their firepower is pretty mental.
I mean, I think Mousesports, these maps kind of fit for both teams, but I think it's a little better for Mousesports because we saw Train for Mousesports the other week. They looked very good consistently over the last couple of weeks. Saw them on Inferno. They played also really well, so I just think that they might have a slight edge.
Yeah, I agree. I've been reluctant to pick Mousesports purely because I want to see more from Mousesports, but moving into the pinnacle predictions, I'm going to go first. I'm calling 2-0 Mousesports. 2-0 Mousesports.
I'm going to go with Mousesports too.
Okay.
I'm going to say 2-0 as
So
well.
escalating
I'm going
quickly.
bold. I'm going
All right,
bold here.
Dan.
I'll go Mousesports. I don't think there's any need to predict the exact map score because
He's
why
scared.
predict more than you need to?
I'm not asking you to, but I just, you know, when do I do that?
He's confident.
I almost never do that.
You never.
It's
So
true.
it's got to mean something when I do.
It
right?
does. I mean,
It
got
has
me.
to.
You
It
got
must.
me.
So I think it's going to be 2-0 Mousesports.
I'm taking
Connor, where do
Mousesports
you
too.
stand?
I'm going to
sitting,
go with
sitting.
Avangar. I think they're going to want to win more.
Wait, why have I got a Vanguard? Well, I said Mousesports and Connor just said a Vanguard.
That's a good point, actually. I didn't make that consideration, but I mean, I think it's important. It's still important testing grounds for Mousesports where they're trying to build, have that synergy and so on. So even though Avangar have more to win long term,
That's a good point, man.
within this week's bracket, I think Mousesports ought to have more wins to have long term in building their own team. So on paper you might think it's less competitive, but I think in reality it's more because Mousesports needs to improve as much as possible, as fast as possible, moving forward into all the other tournaments they're also going to be playing. Now it's time to look at the fan predictions and see what the internet thinks. This is the last week of the internet, don't forget. Oh my days.
Wow.
It's so funny
That's a little
because
skewed.
That's ridiculous.
it's so funny because this is, I think, the fan prediction that we've had, which makes sort of the least sense statistically and pretty much in all ways, except it's just pure brand value.
Yeah.
Pure brand value, pure hype. And because this is probably close to 50-50, isn't it? If we're honest.
Yeah.
Like 55-40, you know,
Yeah,
something
something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. This is. I think it's a very tight game, and this is interesting to me because I feel like, at least for me, people will say like, "Who's your favorite player? What kind of team would you build with 5 people?" But for me, it's not about the individual; it's about the whole. It's about playing Counter-Strike in a unit, and I think Avangar are one of the teams who can be. They're not perfect, but you see some good examples of them working together, some little things. So I'm stimulated by watching them. So I'd say I'm a fan of Avangar in that respect. Not to say I'm not a fan of Mousesports, but again, I think that's kind of skewed. But we've got that's a Pinnacle of have Mousesports as a solid favorite as well. I wouldn't say as much as we just saw from the fan predictions, but that is well, I did pick a 2-0, so I guess it's all kind of working out as far as we're concerned.
Yeah. It's working.
Yeah. So yeah, I think brand value definitely has something to do with it.
You also kind of think that Mousesports just came off a win off of the DreamHack Open.
Yeah.
That's
Tours?
Yeah, the tours.
Yeah, that's true. What else would I want to mention? I looked at the post-match comments on Reddit from Avangar's play last week, and a lot of people think that, you know, they'll hang around for ages, a bunch of people will die, and then Jane will kill everyone. So let's see if that happens today, because maybe it does. Do we have time for a teaser now? The big gun one. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do a teaser. Last time we did a teaser, we played the whole thing, but we had a delay. So maybe you'll see it later today if there is a delay. But for now, we'll do a teaser until I say cut. We're in Uvalde, Texas at Drive Tanks. Welcome to What Not to Put in CSGO.
We're here in Uvalde, Texas at drivetanks.com, and once again we've got Riley, and we are doing what should not be in CSGO, and it apparently is a Pack 40, so why exactly is that? What are we dealing with here?
So the German Pack 40 behind me is actually an anti-tank gun. Sole purpose was taking out armor. It was a very powerful gun that the Germans developed in World War II, could basically take out anything we had.
Cut it! Cut it! Cut it! I hate having a camera that close to my face,
Got
but I did it
goosebumps.
for the people, man. I climbed into that van. If you saw the M4 video that we did, there were 2 targets. One was that van, and the other was this like small square metal plate. I aimed at the plate because it was a smaller target, and I hit it with almost every bullet, which was fantastic.
Way to brag.
Obviously, the recoil. It was funny because the comments on the video, people like recoil. I'm not sure if they're being ironic, if they're joking or not. Like they're expecting like a Counter-Strike recoil compensation, which isn't really necessary. You just need to hold it in position for the most part. At least that weapon. But that thing was full of glass and so on. But I got in there for the gram.
Right, here we go. We've got Avangar on the CT side, Mousesports on the T side, and Looking pretty standard here. Set of nades to Carrigan and Chris J. And everybody else with Kevlar, the P250 for Rops, P250 Kevlar. He has been raid bossed. Raid bossed as the Vanguard go for the smoke kit on Buster and Kevlar for everybody else. So, and a B rush. This is as standard as you like for a beginning of train. Oh. Fitch kicks things off with a headshot onto Frozen. Keykurtz lurks. Oh, that's an important one, and Woxic's going to pick it up. I think most people will be thinking about that Woxic 1v5 still. Well, it wasn't exactly a pure 1v5, but it was very impressive.
Buster with a smoke and a defuse kit. Looking for the second player. I think he's just seen him now, falling back. Now, the Glock spam could be a problem. Hilariously, if he takes up Rops and tries to smoke defuse versus Woxic, which is unlikely based on their positions, that'll be really interesting considering Woxic picked up the USP. He'd almost be at a disadvantage. Okay, there's a smoke up Woxic's facing, and Woxic's aim is too much on this occasion. 3 kills for him. Mousesports get off to a good start on the T side. Your sniper player with 3 kills on a pistol is never a bad situation.
It's always nice. Mousesports keeping it simple. I mean, it's a pistol round, using numbers, out shooting them, and it's an awkward Molotov that killed, I think it was Fitch. Maybe it was someone else, but one of the Vanguard players died in a Molotov in Z, which could have been a different round if, you know, could avoid it. You're not getting shot at. How did that happen?
So I think on the T side, I'm going to try and point out the kind of one-man grenades we see. Takes of Ivy and so on. So we can try to make people learned, men and women. So we've got anti-eco time. Are they going to go through the smoke? This could surely be very, very risky. And there goes Frozen. 1 by 1. Ideally, you'd want to pop out with 2 players at least to stop that kind of variance from happening, because that's almost guaranteeing variance. Buster trying to do what he can, not quite happening, but if we've got 2 players really tagged now. Carrigan and Chris J combined 9 HP. So this is getting very weird. So as we said, James apparently kills everybody. Maybe he will on this occasion. Second round wouldn't be a bad time to start.
Oh, okay. Well, I was about to say, they can create a situation where James can't really push without going extremely close range with the scout, where in that reality they can trade him and he shouldn't be able to get a kill. There is no purpose for them to peek him. So if at this point they give more kills prematurely, that's definitely a mistake. But James can try to keep them on the bomb site, because eventually they'll have to try to leave, and he does have the angles to prevent that, and he has an understanding of relatively where they are. So perhaps James can actually get another kill here, or a tag that could result in the death post-bomb detonation, but looks like they will escape, and James will keep his scouts. But that run was actually saved by Woxic. He went down pretty low, but just got 3 quick headshots in quick succession. Here you go. There's 1, there's 2, and there's number 3. It's tapping away.
So on paper, it seems like the smart thing to do if you're playing against a team that's probably going to force spy on the second round to smoke, flash, and Molotovs. But the thing is, it makes you kind of transparent. The CTs can hide behind the smokes. They can kind of group up and cross higher because they see all these smokes and nades coming over A. It's hands them the extra time to set up. On paper, looks good. Actually doing in the execution, I'm still mixed feelings on like an outside set piece on the first anti-eco.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of going through the smoke. That smoke on Ivy is thrown from above the ladder position. So in Europe we call it pop dog, but in America they call it ladder, with reference to what did you refer to as pop dog in the older
This
games?
one right here.
Sidewalk.
Yeah, sidewalk.
Yeah.
Trains pop dog in America.
So playing with the beds, he calls that pop dog.
So it throws everything off.
Leads to
that's
some
really
confusion.
Every time you guys say pop dog, I'm looking there, but it's ladder, and it's just.
There's no one to be, man. Why do you keep saying pop dog?
I do like the fast approach outside, though, from Mousesports, just because I think that on train especially, you want to give pistols as little time as possible to reposition, and you want to gain position very quickly, because once you have that position, especially in the outer bomb site, the round's basically over. But if you play really slow and they allow the pistols to move around, or lose a pick because someone finds a deagle angle on you, then all of a sudden your ability to trade it, lose a couple players, but to at least get a winning position in the round diminishes immensely. But enough about that, I suppose. We are 3-0 up for Mousesports, and finally the full buy will come in hands of Avangar. James on the AWP, everybody else on the Orcs, of course, and this is where the Counter-Strike really begins.
It's apparently ZWER, I think it's supposed to be Russian for animal, somebody was telling me on Twitter last week. However, most of the time when someone's doing a Russian translation to me on Twitter, every time it's been wrong. So I'm going to assume it's not true until somebody tells me otherwise. Okay, so this is a grenade execute you normally see. Maybe expecting that Jame will be ahead of it. A nice flick from him, catching chrisJ off guard. And there's no answer from Mousesports.
One thing that could have made that okay, losing a player there, would be to gain position, but they lose another player. So their every attempt so far to gain position has resulted in death here for Mousesports, which is the absolute worst case. And they need something huge now from Woxic and Frozen, but perhaps they're the two to do it. Woxic on the AWP. He's such an exciting player to watch, just because the way that he aims is so crazy. His sense is so insanely high. I don't think there's anyone who's remotely close to Woxic's sense. Like, remotely close to it.
And he's left-handed. And
he's left-handed as well. It's ridiculous.
Still trying to find the head, but they haven't done too much damage. You can see the Ivy position, I think Jame, oh no, it's Buster there, hasn't been picking too much. As soon as Woxic is gone, then he'll be more aggressive. Not giving the picks away. They've got plenty of map control, 5 people alive.
So,
lost one eventually.
So Mousesports kind of mistimed their Ivy take there. They tossed their smokes and utility a piece a little too late, and they got picked off and punished. And then the smoke itself was a little botched, providing a little gap. And so 2 kills off the bat, off a strat that's designed to push you back and kind of buy time for the people outside to kind of pinch, as Dan was saying.
If you go towards Ivy, you must know those 2 grenades as a T player. The smoke and the Molotov, you'll see them on stream a lot, but I don't think people pay attention to them too much. So again, I'll point them out once we see them. So from up here, you can throw a walking grenade to connector, but you're not going to be allowed to walk into the B bomb site if James is alive. Fitch will be taken out by Rops, and one player's made his way to the site itself. Kika avoiding the flashbang, seeing Frozen, putting on 1 HP. He's surely got so much advantage, and that will make it even better. Now Rops is the only man on the B bomb site. That leaves chrisJ to try and lurk his way in. Can he collect the bomb? Looking for these players to advance their position. Note how they're still being disciplined of Vanguard. They're not just charging through, taking things for granted. They don't know entirely where chrisJ is, so they will wait. Kika spotted the information. That's a beautiful tap from chrisJ. He's got 40 seconds. Now, they know that he's not going up the ramp again. There is a Molotov on Jame, but he's got an AWP, so he's probably holding his angle for now. Tag, and it will be finished off. There is no plant for chrisJ. That's pretty solid from a Vanguard, and a great discipline towards the end as well.
And very solid CT side. Jame getting a free pick on that lower bomb side. Mousesports kind of a little sloppy on their inside take. The pop flash is over, was a little late, and I think whoever went first just got picked off, just without a chance. No hope.
So pretty even starts so far. Mousesports on a save. And the objective, considering that they have only a flash, is to somehow find damage. And because they don't really have firepower, then one way they would do that is by playing the round very slowly to try to force out utility from the opponents at least and try to burn away some of their money that way. Although it does look like they may not be playing all too slow because they're all gearing up here towards an inner rush. And with the single flashbang, considering how far away Keycode is, a bomb plant might be a possibility here, as it can often be on Train. You can see Keycode is respecting the fact that, hey, maybe it's a half buy this round. Maybe there's going to be some pistols. And if they rush, we're happy to give up the bomb plant as long as we don't lose guns ourselves. And that's typically the ethos on the CT side of Train. Protect your economy, prioritize your economy above all things.
There we go, 3-3. I feel like the rounds of Avangar have been very strong in the fashion in which they've won them. So this is a fantastic start for them on Train. Plenty of utility for both sides. No AWP for Mousesports on this particular round. Woxic opting for Kevlar. You can see he spent 4,800, so not quite enough for a helmet. So he'll be one with the team. All right, lads, let's learn some lineups.
This is, what is this, an E-box smoke? Like a weird E-box smoke, get you a little closer.
Doesn't seem like he'll be throwing it for a while. Oh, or will he?
The tease.
So Chris J's lining something up as well.
It's like a bomb transfer.
Okay, wall of smoke. I like the flash above ladder to allow the T's to make their way out into the welcoming arms of Sanji with a 2K. Make it 3 with the Molotov, the posthumous Molotov kill.
Oh, 4.
That leaves 4? I didn't even see the 4th one.
Yeah, same.
Another one tap from Chris J. And he's got 1 minute on the clock, though. He doesn't have the bomb, but the bomb's in the A-bomb site, and he has position to get through one of the choke points, at least to this point. James is holding an angle from the ladder position. There we go. Good position to know as well. If you're brazen enough to come out of the ladder area, you can see a CT standing around Ivy in a lot of cases. But there we are. And a smoke execute from Mousesports, but Sanji said no.
One thing that I haven't seen too much of Mousesports do in the past couple weeks are throw many fakes in general. I want to see if they're able to bring that about. Avangar seems like more of a team that would play together, fall back, play kind of a passive kind of just approach to the game. So I was thinking that maybe fakes could really outposition Avangar. I don't see if Kara can bring it out.
Not much you can do against that. It's bombardment of grenades. Now they're stuck in Ivy. They've neatly organized themselves to all be annihilated by Avangar.
Easy. There's a nice pop flash for CTs. If you're by the ladder of the train near Ivy, and you look at the kind of lines in the ceiling, and you left and right click flashbang, it creates a beautiful arc, and you could run with it to kind of bait them to face you if they are moving up. I've got a video of Nico doing it on Tinternet in the usual place. Good one to learn as well, defensively. Ninja Turtle smoke into the bomb site. That's not the sandwich one, that will be the E-box one. There we go. Sandwich one is super simple. I like that HE from Buster because he bounces it where you would basically throw the other grenades from the T perspective. Woxic will be smoked off. 2 plays towards Ivy. That's going to waste a lot of time. So Woxic will make a rotation. Now, if you were in the Hell position, some people wonder why Heaven is on one side and Hell is on the other side. Like Hell is this right corner. It's because on older versions of the game, there was a ladder there as well.
Yep.
So that Molotov, you'd also throw the smoke pretty much the same way, and then throw the molly in a straight line over the box in the middle. That's the kind of general take of Ivy you will see later on. But we've got Mousesports moving over towards the B bomb site. Sanji potentially has a quick rotation, but Kikert's got a lot to do here.
He hasn't played this close too often here, so it's very committed. Doesn't work out. Oh, it does work out. I guess 2 from the Molotov, and incredible amounts of delay, because look at this. Rops, he can't even really get the bomb at this point without using all of his utility. Chris J, who was supposed to be lurking, now has to abandon that plan to try to help out Rops, but he's too slow, of course. The fake flash will be actually, no, it's actually just a genuine flash, which works very well against James, but almost just 2 with 15 seconds. Chris J, he hasn't got time. That's very sad. Wow, that Molotov from Kika, just roasted 3 players effectively. That's.
Can we just note that he threw it sideways?
It's another level.
Yeah, you should know how to throw. Like you could, for example, if you're a CT and you want to fast smoke Ivy, you can run sideways and release the smoke grenade to go down Ivy. You just need to know the angles to do it. So it's a good thing to learn, as evidenced by Kika. He was very low on time, so you can see he's got that sideways throw, so he doesn't really compromise his momentum to try and get cover, which is really smart from him.
And I think that talking a point on the last round is Chris J. Staven in the Ivy was like a big key point of Avangar keeping 3 people there.
Fast outside from Mousesports, trying to mix up the pace, trying to make this explosive. Chris gets really far forwards there. That's unfortunate for him not to be able to pick up that kill, and that might start to make things quite difficult here for Mousesports as they still are vying for position. Rop's in hell, looking to creep, but they haven't gotten the kills Ivy yet, so it's not really all that safe for him to make these moves. It's very risky. Buster's right around the corner. Are there any flashbangs from him? There's only one on Frozen, and it's a dry peek into Buster with a better angle, better position, and Mousesports still in a desperate time, but they do have some position to work with here, and that's a good start.
Oh, that's beautiful from Woxic, just gliding around the map. The Ivy smoke actually helps them plant the bomb, potentially, if they can figure out where the other player is. So you can see Woxic with confidence will do that. Thank you very much. Again, Ivy, very important to hold. Does he see? Oh, I don't know. They're backing away from the bomb site. So he'll cover Frozen. Ooh, Buster surely sees him, but Woxic's too fast. That's his 3rd frag, but where is Kika? Kika surely can't get 2 from this position. Waiting for Woxic to back up too much. There's a HU towards the E-box area. Frozen has a quick peek, and now they know where he is. Woxic, no fear from the man. 4K, easy stuff with the saved AWP that Chris J picked up.
That's a pretty good recovery by Mousesports, and they did a little twist on their outside take that we've seen in the last couple of weeks. A lot of times we see a person run towards the sandwich to the bomb train. This time we saw a person swing an E-box instead. So a little, I guess, trying to anti-strat the anti-strat, if you would say. So it's a very nice little touch-up on Mousesports. But, I mean, that's not what won the round. What won the round is the 2-on-4 play by Woxic and Frozen.
It also shows you the power again, as I was talking about earlier, like getting into position on Train. That's really, I mean, it's effectively what it's about on every single map, getting into a good position. But Train, you need to kind of go quite deep, and it can be quite difficult to defeat the resistance you find on those choke points, such as T-Main, Pop Dog, Ivy. Getting through those is quite difficult, but once you're in the yard, you've got a lot of space to play with, to find fights, to outplay your opponent, outsmart them. And we can see Woxic there unleashed. 4 to 6. Woxic going for a timing pick on Keycut perhaps, but the early smokes will deny him. We've got early smokes all over the place. I'm not sure who threw the smokes first. I imagine the T's outside threw their smokes to bait out some of the CT utility. More smokes to be deployed here from Mousesports, just Rops with 1 left. They're really threatening, you know, that fast pace. So Avangar have burned a lot of their grenades very early on here. And now Mousesports might slow this right down to really capitalize on that.
1 smoke for Mousesports. It will be quite the battle. Chris J just waiting. Fitch starting to move forward. Might have good cover from that flashbang, which is being lined up. If he went deep into the corner, Chris J would be able to see him, so he stops at a good position. Ready for the second duel, but won't win it. Sanji having a quick look up the ladder. Frozen will die completely exposed. 2 players remain for Mousesports, still in the choke point of the ladder position. Avangar not peeking too much. Off angles being held again. They've got the bomb site. They don't need to fight too much because Mousesports needs to plant the bomb. Ultimately, that is the situation. And Rops is left with not much to do but to walk away. Doesn't look like an AWP will be saved on this occasion. He'll go to the showers for cover. Inspecting the taps. Probably rusted and stuck by now. 7th round on the board for Avangar. Again, they're going to survive with 4 players. And Mousesports' loss bonus is not spectacular just yet. So this is a good spot for Avangar.
Yeah, they've always getting the first pick against Mousesports. I actually like the way Mousesports is working the map, smoking lower, making noise, trying to keep Avangar on their toes and always second guess. Fortunate part for Mousesports is that Chris J was kind of in the spot to pick off that Olaf guy in middle. Just got completely outshot and then frozen, kind of in a weird spot where he's giving away his death too easily.
Yeah, I felt that way as well.
Like, you got to make it a little harder for these guys. These guys can aim. You can't just do, oh, I see him. Let me just keep going up here.
Yeah, if you got going up the ladder's like really awesome when there's a lot of stuff going on, but if there's no other points of focus, you kind of pop up from the ladder and there's like some time in which you're unable to shoot. And so we saw that is very disadvantageous. And it looks like Avangar have, I mean, the success for Mousesports has been pretty few and far between. They don't really seem to find any success outside of the pistol. They've got one round outside of the pistol, as you can see on the top of your screens. And that was with effectively a clutch. Like they pushed themselves into a position outside, but there's a 2 versus 4 for them. So Avangar still were outperforming them.
Okay, trying to secure the bomb plant, guaranteeing the money, and with that smoke, they can actually try and push forward behind it. Control towards oil. So a great HE onto Rops, but only does minimal damage. The idea was good at least. You can see them closing the distance now. If the connector smoke, Chris J dancing, Carrigan waiting as well. So Chris J's trying to bait them, but James seems to realize what's going on. Why on earth would you, why otherwise would you do that? That's a great read of the situation. 4 versus 3 for Avangar. They'll lose by, so that bomb's quite ticked now. I'm starting to wonder. There is a flank coming down the ramp, however. Rops and Wapsick are pretty damn low, but they might even win this. They just wanted to plant a bomb and they're going all the way. There's a smoke diffuse, rings the bell and finishes him off as well. Everybody apart from Rops will die, but that is a surprising round win for Mousesports.
Yeah, that was way too easy for them to get into inside pretty much almost uncontested, and Vanguard taking a super long time regrouping to try to retake it. You got to give yourself a little bit more time if you want to do these kind of full-time retakes.
Great play from Rops with the saved rifle. So with, I mean, they bought around the AWP, which they saved, but essentially with 2 saved weapons, they've pulled rounds out. So they're making good use of bad situations. So they'll likely wait out this smoke. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that smoke and molly up top of Ivy. Maybe not with Woxic standing there, though. He may yearn for a peek.
Oh.
Was it a Vanguard? A Vanguard are masters of doing this. Throwing the HEs down.
Yeah, I
was
think
it
so.
NIP they were doing it against?
Yeah.
In the final.
Rez.
It was amazing. I've got a video to make about
I've never
that.
seen someone get naded as much as Rez in that series in any way. So funny. Look at Sanjay was ladder him. Now he's all the way back by camera. Now Fish is going to take his turn.
So T-Main and Ivy splits. I mean, they have a man in Pop Dog as well, so it's pretty ideal. But the defense from Avangar, they've really got a good setup to try to control this. Keycat pushes through the smoke. They've got Sanji by camera as well, so there's not really a way out for Mousesports. They've isolated it around the hell position, and it's just Chris left from this spot now as well. Still a man advantage for Avangar. Time is on their side as well, because that's going to start to speed things up. Desperation will set in now for Mousesports as Chris tries to find another frag, but the Krieg will not service him well, as instead it will now just be Rops with it all to do, and the bomb is too far away for him to even retrieve and plant at this point. So a disappointing ends, another disappointing ends to a round, which could have been more, but
I like Mousesports was actually had the position on a Vanguard, but Chris J and the Ivy let Keekert kind of sneak past the smoke and get a kill on his teammate. So a little sloppiness from Mousesports, and Vanguard's taking care of it. As you said, their will to win, you know, might transcend them on paper.
It was an interesting the smoke towards the Ivy position from above ladder, because normally you would smoke off the whole choke point, but he left the hell position open, and presumably for Mousesports to move in there from Ivy. That flash just lasting too long. Robs with a really cheeky peek, just running out of the AK like that versus James. It's suicide more often than not. They've got practically no utility. Chris J peeking early in the Molotov, which has become part of the meta. Trying to do what he can with the position. Now Woxic with a brutal headshot. And Kika is remaining 1 versus 3. Down. Oh, this could be beautiful. Surely gets a kill after the fact. He does, but the second last round of the first half will go to Mousesports. Half the rounds they've won have been the hard rounds.
It's Woxic killing like 3 or 4 people, so doesn't say much of their, I guess, team play strats at the moment.
Well, I'll credit that when he got that scout kill towards Ivy, Chris J was baiting, trying to stay alive rather than fighting to the death to kind of allow that situation. So there is some team play there.
Also, Rob's getting the entry with the flashbang. That opened it up to allow Woxic's position to. So that's something. Carrigan trying to dive through Sandwich. Perhaps to, I think he was aiming to go towards Hell, but he will get stopped in his tracks, forced to fight. Eventually he falls, and it's an absolute bloodbath here on the A-bomb side as kills are exchanged all over the place. Keycut dropping down out of the Pop Dog area to do some damage. And now Rops and Frozen are the ones in the clutch. Better weapons overall, but I think scouts will always be dangerous on a map like Train, and James the one who handles the scout that's active at the moment, so that might be problematic. Bomb going down as a cue to creep forwards, and Buster will find it. Unawares, Rops and Frozen, that was a sitter. I would imagine he will be very disappointed missing that one, but Avangar, they look like a great team right now. I am loving how they're reading the game. Their responses to everything that Mousesports are doing is just really polished.
Comfortable score for Avangar on the CT side, but the T side is the harder one. Let's see if Mousesports can do the same on their CT side, which is coming up very shortly after this break.
Would you rather stay? I watch you be and slowly walk away. I would rather leave. I'll take your heart and wipe it off your sleeve.
I quite like that song, But it's time for a different kind of music, some heavy metal, if you will. Avangar starting on the T side now in the second half. Kika with a smoke and a flash. Everybody else has got Kevlar. Now, is Sanji going to be lurking towards this IV position? Is he going to be a late rotator? Is it an A split? Seems that way with the bomb towards main. 2 players above ladder / B. 2 players in that main position. Kiket's got a P250. That longer range. I feel like dropping 2 P250s might be an idea on train. There's so many long channels where headshot with a Glock is not going to be enough.
It can work. I believe it.
5 P250s, I think. 5 P250s, couple smokes, 3 HEs.
There's no aim punch in this game with pistols. I agree with you, Dan.
I think
It's too much aim punch.
maybe.
They should take away aim punch with pistols. What do you think? They're controversial? Make pistol rounds way more interesting, I promise.
Some strafe jumping in there. All right, Frozen starts things off from Sandwich. Oh, that is fantastic. And he's got 3 now. Maybe a chance at a 4th. Down to 18 points of health. Will eventually be silenced, but the damage he's done is resounding. There's only 2 players left for Avangar. It's desperation mode, but they're doing not too bad of a job. Key cut. Oh my God. Boxic just running straight in front of him, and Kika clutches it down. That is not bad. After the start from Frozen, which was quite unlikely, Avangar turn it around somehow.
Mousesports' time and spacing is not on point this map at all, and even Frozen getting those 3 kills. You have to do so much work to get those 3 kills. And
He's like, shut up!
You're on a 4-on-2 situation, and you get picked off little by little. Mousesports just not really peeking together, exchanging together. It's a huge part, and you can't flub those kind of rounds.
That second frag from Frozen was nasty.
It's angry, wasn't he? He's angry.
I'm
Get out of my
angry.
face!
I need to revisit the armor penetration of the P250. I can't remember. I was looking at the wheel where you buy the weapons. It shows you the armor penetration in numbers, but it also shows you on the scale. But the scale is kind of weird because I think one weapon was like 96 armor penetration, the other was like 115, and it was like so far away on the bar. But anyway, enough nerddom. Frozen gets tagged and he has to concede his position. Move away with the scout. So a 4-man retake with 2 scouts. How much do you invest into this? You don't really have position. You could just start again in the next round, considering you've gone for the 4 spy. So do you think you're actually going to win it? Maybe you do, especially now. Carrigan with a smoke play. How on earth did he manage to do that? Took it for granted. It's not a brick wall. Buster with a Mac 10 could absolutely do this. Combined 45 HP and only 1 helmet. It would be an easy spray down. Free fire.
Oh my God.
There's beautiful, but he will get finished off. Is there a kit? There was one there around there somewhere, but he can't see it. Is the kit on site? I mean, he's got to run away. He's not going to defuse it.
I think he thought he maybe picked it up and was testing it out.
Carrigan had it. I don't think it made it to the site. I think Carrigan had it.
Yeah, Carrigan didn't have it, and he died by this summit area spot. He got 2 kills, and then...
That's quite something, though. I think in most cases that that is doomed, but that retake. But walking through the smoke quietly, I respect it. That's the last place they're going to look. You never know when someone's going to be running around the corner, especially in a round such as that. So fair enough. But
this is interesting that Mousesports decides to buy again, though they just barely lost that 4 spy. Maybe a big disadvantage for them. We'll see.
Slow progression here for Avangar is off, and we'll see. But James is cut from a different cloth. He's down deep in hell, and he's found himself a pick already. That's going to help his teammates get out into the side. You can see they're more confident now. He's like, come on, guys, let's go. Let's get in there. Let's get involved in this A-bomb site. But now they're so interesting. He was in hell, and now he's back in T-Con. I feel like that's never what happens. I feel like you want to stay out there at least. Just hang out. Just you don't have to push.
You already committed that far.
You can just stay there.
Just stay there.
Stay in it. Just like harass. You know, that will create opportunities for your teammates. But I respect the fact that they're regrouping. I'm not sure I agree with it, but they're doing it, and let's see how it turns out. So Far be it for me to question the eternal wisdom of Avangar.
Is that smoke left? The hell position open again. Oh, Karrigan being utterly baited, it seems. Okay, that's a proper smoke for Ivy that you get from above Pop Dog, as opposed to the variation Mousesports threw when they wanted to make a play into the A-bomb site. A patient to Avangar take the A site. They've got no casualties just yet, so indeed a double force buy from Mousesports. Very unusual. And again, hopefully they eco next round, but they can reset the situation somewhat with these 3 players who are still alive. So we'll see what happens. But 12-6 for Avangar. They pretty much need to win this week. And they're moving to double the score of their opponent on the first map. They're an underdog. Well, we were 50-50 in the studio. Pinnacle has Mousesports as quite a heavy favourite, I would say. And even more so in the fan predictions. But not quite working out that way. Losing the pistol and then going into force by hell put Mousesports pretty far back in this game.
As far as the stylistic matchup goes so far, it looks like Avangar. I think for me, in a way which is expected, it's really difficult for Mousesports to deal with, because Avangar have this style of play. It doesn't really matter like who they play against. Like they have this, because they're quite defensive, but the way that they do everything is very team play oriented, very tight. It allows them to be very resilient against a huge variety of opponents.
Oh,
nice little flick from Chris. And we see that here, that Mousesports are struggling to get players into position on train against Avangar, because Avangar are so good on these rotations. Rops, it's time to shine with the Deagle in hand, but Buster's got one for him. And there's not too much to be done to prevent this bomb from going down, but maybe Chris J can make it a little bit more painful for them with that scout. We'll get another tag, and that's all he's good for.
Sanji's been tagged. He can't really run away at the moment. Is he doomed? Karrigan starting to move forward. There's no defuse kit. He has no Kevlar, so picking up a weapon would be a bonus. Note how he stops before he's exposed to the lower area. So far, so good. The spray's there. So is Sanji. Only 1 bullet from Doom, and that's a big headshot from him to hold on to some extra money towards the end of that round there. So 13-6 for Avangar. They are not too far away, but Mousesports have the luxury of maximum loss bonus as they face a 7-round deficit. The 2 AWPs will be out. Karrigan has had some flashes of his TSM time form with the AWP of late, and he's picked up a second AWP in this round, so we'll see if he's able to continue that success.
Yeah, I think with Karrigan, he was very underplayed on the FaZe lineup because he has so many great individuals, and so I don't think the focus was ever on him individually. And so I like that in this team, there's a bit more freedom there for him to
There's more quality.
Yeah, there's more opportunity for him to be a Counter-Strike player as opposed to just an IGL, where he's trying to get the most out of a guy like Nico or Guardian or whoever it might be. So I kind of like this team for Karrigan more. But here we go. They'll be diving into the B-bomb site once again of Avangar. Here, it's actually going to start off better for Mousesports for once. So we'll see if they can convert on this, but the bomb will still go down. But how far can Mousesports get? Ooh, that's a great push from Chris J. So they're going to get pretty damn far. 2 versus 4. And now 1 versus 4. Jane with the AWP.
Time to hold on to it. Surely he does not try and save this. I think he's hiding in plain sight at the moment. So we saw a similar thing in a T-Execute from Mousesports, I think, on the Eco run, where they get that smoke down between 2 of the back trains to give them cover to try and take the rest of the train yard post-plant. This is the smoke I'm talking about. But Chris J just wiping them out. Look at the sweep. No panic, just perfectly calm motion from one to the other. Absolutely marvelous stuff from him. And that's the first of many required rounds for Mousesports.
Yeah, Rob's doing a good job staying alive after getting that kill. You know, sometimes you have that inside bomb site person. You just want to keep getting kills. You want to keep getting information, but that could, that's more risk of dying. So Rob's staying alive, waiting for his teammates, waiting for Chris J. So, I mean, if Rob's died, Chris J would not have been able to make that move. because they'd be looking at him more intense, like towards Z area. Very important. The subtle differences of just staying alive.
I wonder if Avangar will try to run a fake after, they've just done 2 B rounds in a row. Got everyone outside B again. The issue is that currently there's no pop dog control. Here comes a push towards the B bomb site. They've got the bomb there, so it's not going to be a fake. So 3 B rounds in a row. And 2 pretty quick ones, this one included, and the previous one. But this time, it's not looking so good here. Chris J is not getting any multi-kills to allow Mousesports a better chance in, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe just need to give him some time. There's one.
Flash through the smoke. Will it be heard? I'm not quite sure. Busts are taken down anyway. Smoke diffuse is possible, but Fitch on the bomb site is a problem. But they have too many man, Mousesports. Kika on the flank, but the bombs are planted for him. Nothing he can do but damage at this point. Almost, but not quite. Round number 8 for Mousesports. Maybe they were confident in their CT side all along, and they were happy to go for that double force buy.
Fake.
To give themselves a good buy.
Fake's coming.
Is it coming? Are you saying Avangar is conditioning their CTs?
A fake is coming. It has to be.
Or they think it's going to fake and they hit inside again. Is it one of those?
I think a fake has to, I think it's going to be slow rounds with a B fake, because they've gone B 3 times in a row. It's been pretty unsuccessful. The only way that you can really capitalize on that is in an implied way, where you're thinking about the future and you think, okay, we're going to just wear down their economy. We have a big lead already. As you say, we want to condition them, and in conditioning them, we want to break them as well at the same time, with having a perfect rounds to exploit the weakness that we set up. But they have no utility left, so we're not gonna. So, yeah, I think that fake's not coming anytime soon. Perhaps after all. It's a nice pick though. That's them taking control of T-Con again. That's really important. They don't have Pop Dog though, so you kind of have to clear both T-Con and Pop Dog really if you're going to play slow rounds, or re-clear them, those positions. Keep the CTs honest. You're not always able to do it though. You can see the utility is not really there for Avangar to do that. This will be a difficult one for them. Timing for Rops is pretty good, but James still trades. The bomb plant will be had.
This will be a harder retake, potentially more taxing. Frozen on the way down. Got to pick the timing, maybe play off his teammates once the guns start. There's a flashbang, and James completely blind around the corner. Is he able to escape? Frozen's afraid. He's afraid. And James able to escape and take out Woxic in the meantime. The hesitation from Frozen has allowed this to slip out of the hands of Mousesports. He had to chase it, but he thought maybe James would go for the re-peek, and that indecision, that hesitation may have cost them the round and the game.
I'm wondering if Frozen has nerves issues, because I remember from last half, when he was that last person alive trying to defuse the bomb, he still was there towards the bomb site when it was impossible to defuse, and he ended up dying because of that. I'm kind of thinking, is that a nerve issue?
Well, he's extremely young, isn't he?
Yeah, he is really young.
So maybe it's an experience
and his first
thing.
big team too. So.
Yeah. I would hope it's an experience thing over nerves. Just needs to, plenty of these players have been in all these situations hundreds and hundreds of times. So you don't need to think about what you need to do, you just know already. I wonder if that's the same lineup for the HEs that they throw. I'll soon find out.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite a long demo to edit though. Ooh, beautiful.
Yes. You love to see that. It's so awesome. Not enough teams understand how to do this stuff. These are the basics. Look, it's just one. Well, it isn't one in the round yet, but decisive advantage created. Woxic has to go clutch mode here. He's picked up one. He knows there's one in hell, and there goes a flashbang as he repositions. Flash reposition. Use the utility, and he is completely outplayed. Buster, who just sat there in Olive, at the mercy of Woxic, who used all of the utility at his disposal to pick up that kill. He's equalized the numbers here. And Frozen, can you find a good timing for this? Perhaps he doesn't want to push until there's confirmation of numbers towards that B-bomb side. Robs is creeping up meanwhile, and that might be a surprise. If his timing is good on the peak, this might work out really well. But they are starting to drop into the bomb site now. So important this round for Mousesports. Woxic has done so much to bring it back to a doable position.
Well, that's a big frag. Maybe there's a chance yet. Sanji down to 6 HP. He's gone. Keykurt's left with it all to do. Now they can pick up some upgrades, get rid of that FAMAS. So there's a chance yet for Mousesports, but the margin for error has been reduced. 2 AWPs going into the next round. Lots of bounty to be had. Looting.
I can't stress enough how smart Rops is playing inside. He knows that Avangar is type of team to use kind of more numbers, let's take inside together with a lot of people. So if you play the traditional playing by myself kind of pushed up, you're going to get run over a lot of times by the team. So Rops instead is kind of sitting back, trying to get a pick, or just trying to find information and then keep playing pass, wait for his teammates. So it's a really good, smart play style for a team like Avangar. Staying alive, sometimes that's all you got to do.
That's a really good point. It's something I've been trying to focus a lot more on is how can I stay alive and reposition the most times possible for as long as possible. And it's just an easy way to outplay people sometimes. Right. We got that Avangar buy. Classic Avangar buy, the AK on Keykurt. Everybody else full save, pretty much. Keykurt has been performing pretty damn well, actually.
So yeah, I was going to mention, everyone's talking about Hami, Jamie doing all this work advantage, but Keykurt, he's been top fragging for them pretty consistently almost every single map that I've seen last couple weeks.
Yeah, he's looking really sharp, honestly. And doesn't have a helmet though. Might not matter. There's only 2 orgs. The rest are one-shot guns, pretty much. So here he goes. Down sidewalk. And he's going to be able to take down Rops. James takes down Frozen. And you can see that they purposely do not smoke sidewalk because they want to trade. They know that they have to cut the numbers down. That's actually very smart. They get the bomb down. They do excessive damage. Might be a chance here, even with the pistols. Oh no, it doesn't quite work out for them. But again, let's note that they did not smoke sidewalk. It was all about trying to get the frags there so that they can not have to fight against 5 CTs that have full utility.
Yeah, Kerrigan's nade on that retake saved Mousesports in that round. We had one person, you see right there, kind of pushed up, and that nade landed right on his feet. And he's going to get a kill if Kerrigan did not nade that guy, so very good recovery by Mousesports and very good eco by Avangar.
That's so much damage. I love the PT-50.
It's one of my favorite guns.
Yeah, me too.
It's cheap. It's reliable.
I know Dan loves it as well.
Do you, Dan?
I just missed the 5.7. The old 5.7.
I'm losing faith in that gun.
But one way you could reliably shoot someone in the head at least. You can't even do that, it feels. Quick boost from James. I like this elevated position because he sees players on a ladder. Don't scope in again. Really awkward if someone's up there to spot the angle from the floor. So James has a lot of good support in that respect. With his AWP plays on all maps, on both sides. Not the flash he's looking for. You can see towards Olof from the IV position, which is an important angle to be aware of as a sniper around IV. But it seems that B will be the focus here for Avangar.
So Ross playing really far back here, and Mousesports start off strong. Chris J with the opening kill on Avangar. So many B rounds. They are going B pretty much exclusively, it feels like. And they got only 2 remaining against 5 players. This is not a good look. And they're not able to take enough space towards connector. Partially because as you've highlighted, Eric, you know, Robs is playing really passively and ensuring that Avangar can't take those forward positions, and that's the name of the game. If you go for a B round and you want to win it, and if it's just a straight up B round, you have to lock off connector. You got to get teased pretty much all the way deep, all the way towards connector, and set up around it. That's how you win those B rounds.
And I think if you see Rops play against a team that's probably more confident against, or maybe a lesser team, or if they're winning a lot, you probably see him play more traditional up close by spool, or maybe by the oil train or whatnot.
It's interesting if you look at the top, all the diffuses. Normally we would say, you know, the T side are having a certain level of success, but they're not quite finishing it. But I feel like at least where the B bomb side is concerned, Mousesports are allowing them to have that success. Once the bomb was planted, it was essentially 2 versus 5 for Avangar. So Mousesports are very comfortable allowing them to have a certain amount of space and then just taking it all away, just choking them. Asphyxiation on the B bomb site. And some towards A as well, as Avangar are forced away from main. Again, they've got the hero AK-47, this time on Kika. They have position in Pop Dog, but that's about it.
Easy first kill. And I do wonder if Avangar have sort of missed the trick. So we're talking, oh, well, okay, hang on. Hold the phone, hold the bloody phone. 3 versus 2, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Avangar finding headshots all over the place, and that's created an opening for a bomb plot on B. And, okay, a lot of the B rounds weren't really all that successful, but this one might be due to the lack of numbers here for Mousesports. They're very out of position. They've got no idea where some of these T's could possibly be. Everything is potentially unsafe. A Deagle could be around any corner, and Frozen is going to have to just dive forwards quickly with Chris J. They don't have time to wait around. And that's a good start. Pressuring the bomb. Chris J with the cover. Where is the final player? Can Sanji get there in time? He's out of position. And somehow Mousesports saved the round again. It is a stark difference. If you look at the scoreboard at the top of your screens, look how many defuses, and there's 2 detonations as well in this second half. Avangar are managing to get the bomb down a lot because they're going B so much. Oh, beautiful Deagle shots. But again, Eric, I really feel like Avangar, they've missed a trick because the way that they're attacking B, it's just not been working. I feel like there is a lot of potential to throw a fake in based on the fact that they've just committed there so many times.
And with Rops playing so passive, it's harder for him to spot a fake,
exactly.
See a bunch of nades coming over, flashes, and if he even spots a person, it might bait Mousesports into over-rotate, so it's a very good point.
Comeback is real. The comeback is real. I've never been to Israel.
Like
Minute
flash.
20 on the clock. Indeed, that is one to learn.
I can show you it.
Yeah, go for it.
After the game. It's hard to tell you how to do it.
Is that really good molly again? This time they don't have a peek from main, which isn't guaranteed necessarily. Oh, that is cheeky. So we saw the fake flash from Lecro recently where he hopped down. They did the same thing in the molly as well. So again, T sides often standing any end of a molly just to kind of throw people off the timing. But anyway, Mousesports still holding map control. Sanji moving up the IV position as Buster tries to make a play towards the B bomb site. So it seems like gambling is being done now by Avangar as they're getting cut to pieces. And again, it's James left as the last man standing. Would you have it any other way? 38 seconds, so I think he'll just be saving.
It's a save. So we see Avangar going into their slump that sometimes we see them fall into. They're up almost towards match point. They slow down. They try all these kind of strats, and there's like these really slow strats, and it doesn't work. It's like they're not getting map position. They're not getting the picks that they need to get picks. And
well, this is one of the interesting things to me as well because they haven't run that many sort of strict defaults. And slower rounds through the defaults, and then developing it into something. A lot of the rounds were sort of, I mean, they had a lot of fast B rushes and a lot of rounds where they didn't really default in the classic sense, but they do end up just going for a B push, maybe at a mid-round timing. Happens so many times, and it feels like they didn't abuse that fact. Like we're talking about the fakes, because when you're doing defaults, one of the points of it is that you obscure what you're doing, and it makes it very difficult for the CTs to read. If you don't play that style, you play this more of like this Navi style on certain maps at least, where you're really focusing on conditioning your opponents. Fakes become very powerful, and they haven't really shown that, and they just keep going for these B plays that Mousesports consistently ready for. Look at this beautiful setup. You talked about playing aggression. They do it with 3 players here because they know that proclivity that Avangar have to really push that hard with many players, or otherwise play slow, so they don't get Mousesports do not get punished for that.
Very good call at Mousesports.
Yeah, that's an awesome setup.
And now Vanguard, they fall back, they're giving Chris J all this room to look at Brown Halls. But Jamie's too smart. He's like, nah, you're not gonna get this.
The right eye peek.
The right eye peek.
Right eye peek. All of its glory.
What a comeback from Mousesports. Rob's suddenly in one of the more common positions, and he's heard the scope up top. And you can see on the radar people slowly gravitating towards the B-bomb site. But you can see them coming out of PopDog, coming out of the ladder room of Avangar, and getting taken out once again. So not quite a full rotation from Mousesports, just slowly gravitating. Bomb being planted, and that will be denied. 14 apiece.
Yeah, and that was an interesting round because Mousesports had that great setup, and that one setup impacted the round so enormously because even though Avangar eventually got the pick onto Chris J at the end of upper, they were already sort of conditioned, or not conditioned, they were already sort of encouraged to go towards A, and Mousesports had a good setup for that. And Avangar didn't have that much left in the way of utility in the rounds. They're kind of just walking out into these superior defensive positions. So Avangar struggling to get a grip of any advantages in the early to mid round against Mousesports here. And this might be one of the last chances they have, or last best chances. A 2-man setup for Mousesports in B. They're ready for this.
Oh dear. Not now. Surely not now, Mousesports. Bomb being planted. And mostly still alive for Avangar, so that makes quite a difference. Jame on a long flank. 3 players to try and defend on the B-bomb site, one of which has a pistol, but Chris J's looking for it, realizing that surely someone's going to be flanking, and he's right, but he's also wrong, because he thinks no one's there.
Now this flank becomes everything. Jame in the back. Oh, I don't think he spotted the player on the ladder. He's sorely exposed. No, actually dropping down off the ladder, but they're on the bomb. There's no way for him to get there. Buster has to stop it, but he can't, and that is it. Mousesports now after a very long string of rounds. Look at how many defuses. There's a timeout in there. There's all sorts of action. They managed to make it work. How many rounds is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So they've won 10 of 11 of the last rounds.
Surprised there's no timeout being called by, or more timeouts being called by Avangar here. But you have them, use them, right?
Oh, 9 now. Sorry.
Just slow it down, do something, you know, talk about it, regroup, refocus, reset. There's a lot of things you can do in these timeouts.
You did say all the rounds, Dan.
Indeed.
And here we are. So we've got 2 players moving towards Ivy for Avangar, fighting around the E-box, and Kika will get the... I mean, it's a noble effort. It is a noble effort on the ladder as well. Ladder inaccuracy, not something you can really control. Don't think anybody's an expert in that. Chris J with a very brazen angle now that he knows that the ladder position is secure. Avangar rotating away from the Ivy area. He seems to be going elsewhere. I don't know if... Chris J should hear this rotation, actually. There's some warning for Rob, some molly in main and a smoke behind it. So they're faking a rotation now towards the B-bomb site and walking back towards A, where they've just been smoked off. There is a minute on the clock, however.
Mousesports do have 2 players in B, but because they've got Frozen there and PopDog as well, I think they're pretty comfortable here. Frozen can offer a pretty important backstab, and Mousesports have 2 players defensive on the bomb train. So Mousesports' position is pretty good, but Avangar are getting into 4 positions themselves, and it comes down to the headshots of which Fitch is delivering. very nicely. And there's that flank I was talking about. It's very difficult when there's a guy alive in pop lock. You got to try to get a smoke in there. We see that smoke finally, but it's just Sanji left alive, who barely is able to get that frag onto Frozen, but he's already been tagged down to 20 HP. Up against Rops in the 1 versus 1 with limited time to reset this, and Rops has the position. He hears the stepping. He knows exactly what's going on. He can time this flank to perfection. And Sanji, there is... I don't know how he wins this. He is in such a disadvantage. He's got to have such a strong guess as to what Rops is doing. It's a good plan, and he's found a position. Maybe Sanji's actually got a chance here. Rops might be forced to tap the bomb. Rops knows that he has to be close, and he's found him. And there it is. Mousesports are going to pick up the map, and you wouldn't have expected that if you saw how this first half started, how Avangar looked so strong on their CT side. Their T side, they just couldn't find the answer.
Yeah, Mousesports having a couple of their problems of their own on their T side, but Avangar even having more. We saw again, they're just that slow play style. If they're not getting picks, it seems like they lost. You don't know how to enter the bomb site without relying on these picks. So maybe Avangar has to have a little better game plan where, as you said a lot earlier, Dan, about faking, maybe even tossing some defaults so you can condition the fake, like little things like that could maybe bring you a couple more rounds on that T side.
That second half was really crazy. Avangar win the pistol, if I'm not mistaken, and then Mousesports go for the double force buy, which is extremely rare. And you did wonder, but then they went into their buy rounds with absolute confidence. The retakes on B were sublime. They allowed Avangar into the bomb site, and many occasions they post-plant. It just didn't have the personnel. Mousesports looking really strong on that CT side, so that is the first map in the bag for Mousesports. Avangar starting on the back foot again. Every match is pretty much a must-win for them, and now they've got to do it the hard way, losing the first map of this best-of-3 series. Stay tuned. After the break, let's see if Avangar can bring it back to a third map.
Faceit is the biggest competitive gaming platform with more than 10 million users. Play CSGO the way it should be played and turn your hard-earned Faceit points won in hubs, leagues and ladders, and tournaments into real prizes. Sign up for free now.
London, it's time. The ECS Season 7 finals have landed. 8 of the world's best teams will make the historic SSE Arena Wembley their battleground. But there can only be one champion. Will Astralis lift not their second, not their third, but their 4th ECS trophy? Or will a new champion rise from the furious flames of competition? Witness legends collide June 8th tonight. Head to ECS.faceit.com to secure your seat for a weekend of world-class Counter-Strike.
Would you rather stay? I watch you be and slowly walk away. I would rather leave. I'll take your heart and wipe it off your sleeve. Should have known by now. There's no reason to.
Hello and welcome back. I think I slept about 3 hours yesterday.
Congratulations.
I blame these guys because we were playing CS. I'm like, I'm tired, man. I'm tired. And then like one more game, like, oh, okay, fine. So I got home at 1 a.m. I had to get up at 6 a.m. and I think I slept about 3 hours. So
You look great though.
we lost our last game 14-16. We had our we had a guy on our team whose username was Lil D Girl 69. Yeah, I don't know. It was special. It was a very weird thing to have at midnight in California. And he was from East Coast. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning for him. Anyway, if you're just joining us, it is 265 days since we could draw on a map. That's what this is. This is a daily counter set to GMT time that counts every day that goes by since we've last been able to draw on a map. It's important.
Why GMT though?
Well, because GMT is the reference time for the whole world.
Okay, fair enough.
To answer your question, although some people refer to it as UTC now, which is kind of the, let's not make it about the British. So now it's like UTC, but it's GMT. If you go to Greenwich in London, there's actually, I think there's a line.
Yep.
Which shows you the mean time line or something like that.
That's true. My friend took me there like a year ago. It's like, how about this?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
This is great.
It's pretty cool. My first time in a helicopter, actually, I flew over Greenwich, and I really felt like I was in a tin can and I was going to die. But anyway, we have Avangar they had a great lead on train. Mousesports went for the double force buy, which is very rare. Outside of situations where you're further back than they were, you wouldn't expect it at that kind of score. So we thought like, ooh, are they tilted? Is it like, what's going on? But it was just complete confidence. I think it was basically moving towards a full buy with everything they wanted to have. So they were confident in their own game, and they delivered in droves, in spades, if you will. And now we move on to the second map, which is Inferno, and Mirage is the third one. So this, I believe, is the pick of Avangar. I'm pretty sure.
It is.
So it's time to turn it around. They're pretty good on Inferno. There's lots of little details, specifically on Inferno, to watch with them. I think on every map at this point, of the ones that they play, that is true, but mostly for Inferno. Dan, you picked Avangar, no?
No,
you picked Mousesports.
Connor
picked Avangar. So I said it was even, but it wasn't. It's just him. It's just him. So are you still feeling confident, Connor? Is this expectant? Were you expecting 3 maps?
No, I thought they were going to win train, to be honest, so not as confident.
Okay. Connor's not as confident as he was.
After that 13-6 drop in the ball.
Yeah. Interesting times for sure. So it's doable. It is doable. And the game is going to be live shortly, so we'll soon find out if they are actually going to do it. I was impressed by Mousesports on that CT side. After double force buy, I thought they were donezo, but they had different ideas. Carrigan will be the grenade man for Mousesports. We've got a PT50 on Tarops. He's a raid boss. Inferno raid boss. We don't see this often enough, but here it is.
No kits for Avangar. That's interesting. Well, arch pressure, but the bomb's going towards B. And there's Buster to spot this, so it's a B split on the pistol round. Don't see this super commonly. It's going to be quite interesting to see if... Oh, James cannot hold on, though. That's a beautiful timing from Mousesports. They have nailed this one. They've outpositioned their opponents enormously. There we go.
Yeah, that timing was pretty good by Mousesports. As you said before, we don't see too many B splits, especially on pistol round, because obviously USPs have a way longer range than the Glock. But if you time it just perfectly, like how Mousesports timed it, you catch the CT spawn person off guard, you catch the B guys kind of in a rough spot where you have to look towards CT spawn and banana after that. So it's really good spacing and timing from Mousesports to make it work. Everything just went really nice.
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 Mac 10, UMP. Aggression.
And interesting to see by Vanguard, they're not force buying on the second round. We've seen this on many maps of, like, throughout these last couple weeks, CT's been almost automatically buying on the second round. But I've noticed, I think it's the second time that I've seen a Vanguard not force buy on second round of Inferno. Interesting. Interesting tactical approach.
Setting up for grenades towards B, but not personnel towards B. They'll just have somebody spotting. I love the pop flash. They're waiting for the footsteps, waiting for the sound cues, but there are none. They are out of position now.
I feel like that's so much in the meta and has been for quite some time. You just like throw that CT smoke and it has worked way too well here. It has worked so well. At this point, Avangar should just stay on the B bomb side, honestly, because there's no point really going towards A. They'll just give money away. They'll just die, and they don't have anything. So I think this is one of those spots where just don't give the frags away. And that can be really useful as well, because even if you ignore the component, which is the monetary reward for the T side, and denying that, there is also denying just kills. Like there's an emotional response that's very positive when you're just running around getting kills. You feel good. But if you starve your opponent of kills, even if you're losing the rounds, that can actually have a good impact, because it can have. There's this feeling where you're not giving them anything for free. Like everything, you have to work really hard for every single kill, and that is a different feeling. I think it makes. And it's hard to quantify this. Like Eric, do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think for sure that, you know, if you're handing someone 10 kills in the first 2 rounds, it's going to give that person a supreme confidence in the rest of the half. You know, they're going to be feeling good. They're going to be peaky. They might re-peak just because they have that level, that surge of confidence in the early in the game. And there are a lot of players out there like that. If they start good, they finish good.
Yeah, people are affected by their stats more than they might think, honestly. But that aside, topic of a podcast in of itself, but that aside, apartments will be taken by Mousesports. They're actually going for a balcony burst in this position. James there. Oh no! Chris has whiffed the flash. It still works though. James has to turn around. There's more flashes where that came from. And it's still going to work out. Everything's fine. That was a scary moment because James, that was a flash for James. He was standing there ready to spray everyone in the face. But instead, he died looking at a wall.
I'm surprised that Avangar didn't have a better stack towards the A-bomb site. We've seen this a lot lately when teams come on the first buy round on T side and you still have like MAC 10s or UMPs. We've seen a lot of hall pop, a lot of hall presence as a trend. So I wouldn't be surprised to see more double pit setups or pit site cross hires in some way on these third rounds when you've like lost pistol or whatnot.
Quick shot, and Kiko will save something. Not a great start for Avangar. Well, I don't know what the exact parameters for Ninjas in Pyjamas are to win if Avangar lose immediately. So I'll make no assumptions, but let's see. Very early in this game of Inferno. They'll keep the money together for the most part. Fitcher's gone for a full force. 3,100 spent from him. An exchange of grenades. I like to hold from the half wall as a CT, but it's hard with randoms.
I know, flashbang just for you.
Yeah, playing...
That
I hate playing Inferno in pugs because it's very difficult to like communicate with people if you play Banana. It's... people overplay or underplay it. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's hard to have synergy with a random person.
And yeah, and it's... surviving is such a key factor, but also being able to pressure is a key factor. And it's difficult to find people that just understand how to do that with you.
Knowing when to fall back together, stuff like that.
1 minute on the clock for Mousesports to continue their oppression of Avangar. James looking for that info, while Chris J got some deep grenades. Kerrigan, is that a necessary risk? That is the question.
He's made it look like a lurk towards the B-bomb site, so it seems like it's worked out perfectly here. I'm not sure if that was the key factor in them deciding that, oh, okay, it's definitely going to be B, but it kind of worked out that way. The rotation came in, it was an effective fake.
Yeah, so, I mean, he knows there's risk in doing that, which is why I say that I'm not saying like, this is good, this is bad, because you don't always know what the person's intentions are. Although it might look somewhat ridiculous, considering the situation.
I don't think it's worth yet. It's too risky maybe early because Avangar really don't have a feel of how Mousesports are playing this map. And so if you see a smoke, you're probably going to post up a lot behind the smoke until, unless teams throw a bunch of fakes or maybe they're just, tossing smoke like 4 or 5 rounds in a row. Okay, let me over-rotate, like stuff like that. So, I mean, I guess at that point, it's mind games. Are you going to watch smoke? You're going to over-rotate, stuff like that. But it is risky, as James says, and is it worth the risk? I don't know.
You're always a bit lighter on your feet as well when you're in a half buy, because you want to have everyone in the right position. You're more willing to run from site to site. So
yeah,
I think fakes in those terms, maybe they expect higher value than against the full buy run. But now we have more grenades. This has been one of the problems for Avangar, is they haven't been able to take initiative at the beginning of these rounds. And here we'll see them defending Banana really effectively. Only with 2 players as well. They've got the bomb. That's a big problem. Mousesports, they've given up the bomb here. They've committed it so deep. And that's surprising. That's very surprising. Unless you're going to rush the B-bomb site, there's no real reason for you to take the bomb all the way up there, especially if you have 2 players towards the apartment side of the map, players that can swing through T steps later to grab the bomb if you are intending to go B. Because this was going to be a slow round. I don't think they were intending to run a super fast... Like, if you got 2 players on the other side of the map, I mean, no fake is that going to be that fast, so it says to me that that was just a mistake to have the bomb up that far. But they have reclaimed it, but they're 2 versus 5. Here comes the flank.
Nice Avangar from Sanji. And that is everybody surviving for Avangar for their first round, which is exactly what you want to see from them. And now it is about consistency. Maybe Avangar will find some comfort at this point. And we'll see if James rotates his position with the AWP. We know he likes some banana. He's got a spawn for banana, but he's facing the other way. Will it be towards short?
Oh.
Will it be a boost? Perhaps. Let's look down mid position.
Meaty.
No. A normal setup from Avangar. Holding the gap as time progresses. Maybe he'll focus on the boiler position. Grenades towards tree, and Chris J will be deleted. And Avangar continue their pursuit. Now Karrigan will be heard exiting the position. So that is often an untradeable frag, and things go from bad to worse for Mousesports, trying to catch Avangar off guard, but they're ready for it.
Yeah, I think Woxic was really trying to potentially punish James by getting a really deep position quickly on mid, so he could catch the angle of James peeking from boiler with the AWP if he was to run all the way around. However, that did not pan out. As you say, like, none of these pushes have panned out whatsoever for Mousesports. And that shows the strength of Avangar. Avangar very tight on the CT side. We saw this on Train. We saw very tight setups where there's always assistance. They always have a game plan behind the way that they set up their defense. And they're always pretty confident. It's hard to catch them off guard. I think we're going to have to see some pretty strong defaults for Mousesports to force Avangar back, as you would normally expect an Inferno match to work. There is also potential. I like what we're seeing here from Mousesports. Give up Banana for the beginning, let Avangar toss all their utility, come back in the mid rounds, retake Banana then with the utility that you have saved, not investing it early on Banana, but instead you go and invest it mid round. But ooh, might actually just get a straight A set piece here, trying to perhaps catch players out of position, but Avangar are in position, and they're doing the damage.
Tight choke point, the trades will go back and forth, but they'll eventually be won by Avangar. Maybe not enough damage done by Mousesports in that particular round. 2 might not be enough, although it's not too shabby either. That's good for about $12,000 of damage. See the crossfire, the bait and switch from Avangar. James eventually going down. Nice cleanup from Fitch. 3K from the middle of the site. And very quickly, we've got a string of rounds for Avangar, 3 in a row. And they've put Mousesports on eco. We've already look at the money on Avangar already at this point. They've got about an average of $6,000-7,000, and Mousesports they've got a butcher buy, the 5 Deagles, looking for the meat shot. So there's more opportunity for Avangar to really secure their economy in this half. And that's a great way to continue.
And a quick note about that previous round. Mousesports are trying to punish Avangar for playing 3 Banana at the early timings of the round, but it didn't really matter because Avangar just seems to be pretty ready. They had 4 players towards A somehow as that hit was happening, so very fast rotation somehow.
I was going to point out that after Mousesports left the Banana, one of the Vanguard players pushed down. So Vanguard feeling very confident, even though they're down 4 rounds at the start of the half, not shying away from the fight, still trying to take map control and playing, you know, the basics of this map. You want to have good banana control, you know, either T or CT side if possible, because it's such a strong position and you're able to over-rotate 4A. You're able to fast flank if you have the right amount of people. So Mousesports maybe have to have a little more control over banana before they try to decide these A takes.
4-4. Avangar winning 4 rounds with elimination. I think the lack of bomb plants in this half is more telling than all the defuses in the other half. At least traditionally speaking. Because there was comfort for the CTs in those bomb plants. Whereas there will be no comfort in the way Mousesports are losing these rounds. 4 versus 4. They have Banana. They've got Rops just keeping people honest towards the A bomb site. Very far back position. And there's a 2-man setup from Avangar in the apps. A crossfire. Rops is quite notorious for his apartments play. So you do wonder the lack of Rops so far. They will still leave one person towards B, which is very interesting. But ultimately, they've made the right play because here come Mousesports.
Yeah, such a strong setup. James. Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting. Sanji is supposed to sort of fall on his sword there, get a kill, but he tries to back away, gets traded. That's not how this was supposed to go. James now under a lot of pressure, has to drop the smoke. They know he's there. The spray through the smoke from Frozen to take him out as Fitch trays it towards Boiler and Quad, and that's going to drop the bomb. That wastes a lot of time here for Mousesports. Fitch straight through this Molotov. That's a beautiful play. He dies for it, but look at what he's done. He's set up Keycut to finish off the round. That is an excellent call to run through that Molotov.
Yeah, very good play by Vanguard. That hall setup he was talking about. Rops, known for being halls, known for 11 to be in the pit. And so just who's going to spam the halls 1 minute in the round? Nobody. So it's a really good setup. Fortunately for Sanji, as you said, Dan, he's supposed to be a one-and-done kind of kill in that spot, but he caught him backpedaling. And he's dead.
Oh, beautiful from James. Carrigan trying to punish a grenade throw perhaps, but will be denied from doing so again. This is another money-making round for Avangar, or it should be. Most of the time it will be. Deagles and the odd pistol, the odd grenade rather. Everyone's got a pistol. Bell being rung. Another flashbang on the way, and Kikat's able to fall back. Got support from Buster should it be required, but they're content with what they've done so far in Banana, and they will allow Mousesports to walk up those cobbled steps.
More attempts at damage. Doesn't look too good here. And I'm starting to wonder if we'll see a repeat of Train, because Avangar looked indomitable on their CT side of Train. They had a really good CT side. It was impressive. And again, we're seeing, as Eric said, very confident CT side Inferno from Avangar as well. They look really good right now. But that T side,
that's the problem.
That's where it gets interesting. Oh, Oxic, he's done some damage. Nothing else to be had. He inspired me to raise my sense back to where it was, because I did make it a bit slower before. Just making an adjustment.
I'm surprised that someone who has played at a professional level for as long as you have still changes sensitivity. I would think that a constant would be better.
Well, in Quake, I didn't change it really at all. And it's the same as I use in Quake. It's just because I started only playing CS so much. I was like, in CS, does this feel the most comfortable? I should experiment a bit to see what feels better in CS. So that's the reason. But I have played with an enormous amount of setups, but we can go into that later, as we do have Mousesports once again vying for control here in Banana.
Through the smoke they go. No one lost early, which is good for Mousesports. They've lost 6 rounds in a row by being deleted. And that tree position has been woeful for them. Woxic lucky to survive that second HE grenade. And Mousesports will look to overwhelm, it seems, towards the B-bomb site. Molotov maybe lined up towards the new box position. Counter smoke, beautiful spray from Kika. Could go through the smoke. Plenty of flashes from both sides. And look at the songs Avangar are singing on the B-bomb site. Mousesports don't want to hear it, and what remains will run away. They've lost the bomb as well. There's a minute on the clock, and they're almost in a saving position. A wide swing from Fitch, and Rops is the only man standing at the moment. Gone to do the washing.
This is so funny that they've like almost forced Mousesports, as you say, to save at like 40, 50 seconds left, which you rarely ever see. it's almost like Avangar are like forcing Mousesports to be one of them. Now you're one of us. We've assimilated you like the Borg. You're one of us now. Saving with a minute to go on the T side of Inferno.
Yeah. If they do it 4 rounds in a row, then I'd be concerned.
Yeah. 4 rounds in a row. Yeah.
But Avangar, I think one of them, who is it? Is it Fitch trying to sniff him out, trying to find the kill? But he's not going to find him because Rops is not there. Rops is in the kitchen.
Actually, very quickly to your previous point, James, I actually made a podcast which I haven't released yet because I need to tinker with it, specifically about changing settings, because a lot of people ask me about it and a lot of people do it for the wrong reasons. And some people say, oh, you should just never change stuff, which as a rule of thumb doesn't necessarily make sense. If you need to change something, you should change it, but you know if you need to change something. That's what people struggle with.
Is knowing.
And most people decide emotionally, which is not the way you should be doing it.
Meaty grenades. Avangar's utility usage has been outstanding so far in this half.
Wow. Wow.
20 HP, haven't seen a soul. Poltergeist.
That is really significant, honestly. Both Frozen and Chris J just absolutely crippled. Do you prefer 2 players heavily tagged like this, or would you prefer that damage distributed on 5? Because on 5, then it's just like the orcs become like AKs.
That's a good point. I'd say on the 2 players would be a little better, just because of that point with the M4 headshot.
I would rather have it on more damage on less players, because I think those guys are more likely to die. And then, depending on the situation, less players, more position.
Ooh. That's a big kill because Rops was there to sort of lurk and delay rotation. No rotation will be delayed. Kika forced through the flames. They had a double quad setup or new box setup, and that absolutely destroys. That Molotov destroys that entirely. So Mousesports with the perfect placement of that one piece of utility to make their lives very easy. And Avangar, they have lots of money, so they should definitely go for this. A 3 versus 4. The utility is lacking, which is a benefit of the way that Mousesports played this very slowly. And in fact, Avangar recognized this. And even with that kill, they are not going to go for this. They are just containing their opponents. And they're going to make this hurt as much as possible for Mousesports. Their objective here is to make sure every single Mousesports player dies. And I think they may succeed here because they've got a really strong setup. Most of Mousesports are going towards, well, they're all going towards Banana. And there's Jame, and there's Fitch. They must know the other 2 players are there. Fitch, is he going for? He's trying to find them. And they can't find the remaining 2 players. But they did a pretty good job.
I love that they don't run to their doom and just contain. The discipline is pretty good. It's pretty awesome.
I was looking for a Vanguard because when I saw those 2 people play by that new box, I was looking to see if they had a smoke on themselves for that Molotov, because obviously the new box spot is one of the most common Molotov spots in the B-bomb site. It's usually the go-to spot for a Molotov. If you have extra, that's a bonus, but usually that spot, go-to Molotov. So maybe if you're playing with such a risky setup like that, maybe bait setup, someone might have to have a smoke. I don't know if that's too telling, but I mean, whatever they did right there, it didn't work.
That's a really good point. Yeah, that you should perhaps modify, like, if have smoke, can play this position.
Yeah.
Go all if statement on it.
Because on this map, or in other maps, there's a lot of situations like Pit is one where you will always see a Pit player with a smoke running that Molotov.
Oh, Chris J was doomed there. Just had a complete lack of position, and Carrigan gets taken out as well. Back to winning ways for Avangar. And they're looking to secure the economy for the remainder of this half as well of this round. 5 versus 3. Potential 10 rounds on the board for them on their CT side, which would be really strong.
Yeah, if you consider they lost the first 4 rounds, that's pretty huge. And look at this push coming in from the back. Kika's going to just stab him in the back of the face. Oh. Only one to die, but it's more than enough. Mousesports looking kind of, against Avangar at least, looking kind of flat here on this T side of theirs. And Avangar are indeed confidently marching towards 10 rounds, and it'll be half buy from Mousesports, or do they force? They should probably just force just twice in a row here, because they basically have the maximum loss bonus, and if they get a bomb plant, they can do a full buy anyway. So I'm surprised they don't double force, considering that they could get a pretty strong buy out here, honestly, and well, they're not feeling it. But James.
Hello. Welcome to my Hall of Pain. New entrant. I've got a plaque just for you.
And it's pretty much the MO of Vanguard. Get a kill, fall back. Get a kill, fall back. Come to the gauntlet. I'm right here. No, I'm not. I'm gone.
It's like Avangar are playing Orcs Must Die. There's like set up traps everywhere. Nothing is safe.
Oh, such good setup.
Well, the deletion continues. The grand deletion of Mousesports. One round at a time. Avangar having a fantastic CT side. This is not too surprising from them. They're very comfortable on Inferno. Mousesports don't look likely to, well, they're not going to solve the CT side of Avangar in this particular game, but they'll have some evidence to look at for the future. Now you move into the last round. Will it be 10 rounds on the CT side for Avangar? Got a Krieg for Chris J. No snipers for Mousesports. Carrigan 1 for 10 at the moment. Chris J not much better with 3 for 10.
Now 3 for 11. They're really struggling.
Yeah, Vanguard is not really giving them too much. Kika going more aggressive than he needs to, but again, the utility usage has been really, really good for Vanguard. If you try to take Banana, it comes at great cost.
At least Mousesports are able to get the opening kill onto Key Kurtz and create a 4 versus 4. It's a better scenario than they've had for the majority of this half. Flashbang comes out to keep things simple. There, the balcony pop. Sanju gets excellent amounts of damage. Almost takes down Robs as well. So now Fitch is going to look to finish things off. Down to 1 HP. Woxic as Robs burns. And that bomb still needs to go down. Woxic defends with 1 HP. It's for his 3rd kill. Frozen around the corner, and he's nailed it, at least scraping a 6th round, a desperate 6th round.
A surprising 6th round. Look at the scores on the doors. Very solid half for Avangar. Mousesports have it all to do in their second half coming up after the break.
Беги.
Сколько их там?
1, 2.
17 или даже больше. Да здравствует король.
О, черт.
Хорошо, что он за нас.
Годзилла 2. Король монстров. В кино с 30 мая.
No balloons.
And welcome back. So that was a pretty quick one, but here we are. First shot from, well, James dead. Okay, there we go. Focus, James. Focus. I need more coffee.
Breathe in.
Lack of sleep makes it hard for the brain.
Into the nose, out through the mouth.
To function properly.
Need more oxygen.
When I've had lack of sleep as well, football's not going to go well. Got football this evening, but let's look at the game that's being played right now. We've got grenades going in towards the B bomb site. Mousesports trying to hold on to these 5 men, trying to keep them alive. More grenades flying through from Avangar. It's a flashbang to come, surely. Perhaps not fast enough. 2 players lost on B.
Yeah, it's looking awkward here for Mousesports. They couldn't quite find that good moment to go in. I think the flash is one of those moments, but it just didn't seem to land. I think Avangar managed to just get the kills, as you say, just before it popped. And so that really stifled the push completely. But it's a pistol round. Headshots can still be found. It's Rops against 4, though. And I don't know that it's all that possible here. He's backing away, wants to conserve his perfect health in Kevlar. Doesn't want to trip to the ER. Wants to stay healthy. However, he is going to be running straight into Kika. You wouldn't expect Kika right there on a pistol round.
No.
The fact that he's immediately rotated through Banana into the back of A is quite surprising. Anyway, Avangar, they start off with the pistol, and what's interesting is I kind of expect this to look like Train, and we'll get like a 16-14, and that's predicated upon Avangar's T side being much weaker than their CT side, and Mousesports' CT side being much stronger than their T side. So. But we'll see how this plays out. Avangar with the triple Mac 10. Ooh, what a wide peek there against Woxic. That right eye peek. God damn.
Too good.
It's not too bad, is it? Not too bad. I feel like I'll always be talking about that for the rest of my days in Counter-Strike now, until they fix it.
Mousesports running out of steam in the flames on Banana. 2 Deagles and a Scout to deal with. Rops is Arch. Rops is alone. Another one bites the dust. Mac 10s jumping around. They've got a lot of the information that they need. I don't know if that rotation from B was heard by Kika. We've got some dings, we've got some dongs. Carrigan is alone in the CT spawn position. Is that one of those skins that's supposed to show some kind of depth on the side of it? I'm not sure, but I don't like it.
Which skin?
The Deagle that Carrigan had. Not a fan.
Make your own skin.
11-6. Mousesports on Eco. I mean, we had a great comeback on Train and they were confident. I'm not convinced on Inferno.
Yeah, Inferno's T side just a little easier than Train. You could easily work picks a little better, and you could use a lot less utility to isolate to kind of get these picks. On a map like Inferno, you could use 1 smoke and complete isolate middle. Train, you need 2 or 3 coordinated smokes and flashes to even attempt to do some wild random peek.
Ooh. Nice defense there. Coming in from I should say Avangar. All those chunks on the walls.
Brain.
Chunks of death. Alright, Fitch should get the bomb down. That will signify an end to the round effectively. Robs will get a couple in for good measure, but it will be Avangar standing tall with 12-6.
Look at Keeker, 20 kills again, being the consistent top fragger and just all around.
He's
hitting the gym.
He's looking rather good, isn't he?
Juicy.
He is looking...
He's been lifting.
Strong.
Lifting the juice.
Getting all the advantage they can get.
So getting that testosterone. Become more aggressive, stronger, faster.
actually like that smoke that he threw. It's enabled him to get on top of the logs in case if there's a Molotov thrown at his feet. And provide a one-way almost, so I like it. A little something new.
I like that Molotov damage as well. Again, I think it makes a pretty huge difference just chipping away at the HP.
I'm scared, you know?
And they're going to go for a retake of Banana here. That's a beautiful play from the likes of Mousesports with a great nade to follow it up, but the defense is even better for Avangar. They're the ones that get the kill. And more, importantly, Mousesports get some information, but the problem is that Avangar's pacing is so slow that play from Mousesports came too early. And the information that they got for the death of Chris J, it's not even worth it because Avangar's pace is so slow. So that's the only issue with that play for Mousesports. Against most teams, timing probably works out pretty well, but Avangar, they're a slow team.
35 seconds remain. One, but only one. Rob's falling off the balcony. Woxic has support. Surely Avangar can't do this. Woxic's going to be in a strong position. Oh, he's exposed himself to a short area and he gets taken out. Thought he was repositioning for cover just in case, but here we are. The bomb's being planted now for Avangar. Will somebody stand up for Frozen to shut down? No, the smoke will deny him, but does allow him to make his way through. Is it a trap? James looking, haven't found. Now they know where he is, and Sanji can reposition for a potential double pick. There's a flashbang easily avoided, closing the distance. Frozen up on the box, but he can't quite get the frags. 13-6 for Avangar.
Indeed, it's looking pretty smooth at the moment, but I mean, at the same time, just again, the timing of this play, I do think is a really, really good thing to do. I mean, you have to do it on Inferno. You have to get aggressive with banana retakes and top mid retakes, because that's the way that you deal with defaults, and it's the way that you deal with a team that's very drilled. When they execute onto the site, you want to make it difficult for them before they can do that. And so you do have to go for those aggressions. But we can see that against the Vanguard, it's difficult to find the right timing. And it's backfired for Mousesports, unfortunately for them. And they need something pretty remarkable in this round, honestly. They've gone for this half buy. They've already lost Chris J, though. He's not having a good game. Karrigan and Chris J really having a poor game. Rops as well. You know, they're really struggling to frag. And that is by nature of the utility usage, the timings, the team play, the pacing of Avangar has just been solid.
Executes into the B bomb site. Karrigan still alive, trying to find another one. Damage has been done. Frozen with the pot shot through the smoke. Woxic will hear a player. Oh, could he get two? That's unbelievable. Pulling out the AK, but he can't fire a shot in time. 2 versus 2, kick at 48 HP. There's not much to lose for Mousesports. Surely they go for this. Frozen, scout and no Kevlar. Spots some James, but doesn't get a kill. Kick it through the smoke now. Round the circle he goes. Round construction, but James will get that final frag. And Avangar looking... They're absolutely brutalizing Mousesports. Look at their string of rounds. Just one for Mousesports in I don't know how many.
Yeah, I think Frozen actually got it.
Sorry, Dan. I think they've won 14 of the last 15 rounds, Avangar.
Yeah. Decent. But yeah, Frozen got a nice double there with the scout, which you don't often see. But
what's the timeouts for Mousesports, man? How come these teams aren't using timeouts? Is there a coach in the server? They don't care?
Maybe they talk really fast, and they don't need one.
I doubt that. There's like 3 different languages in that team. There's no talking fast over there. Slow English. Probably broken English, who knows?
Maybe they don't want to stew in the juices of defeats and negativity.
The juices of defeat. I don't even want to know any more about that.
The spoils of war.
The juices of defeat. That's up there with chunks of death, man. The juices of defeat. Bloody hell. Secretions.
Lactations.
That's too far. 4 versus 4. We've got a minute on the clock. Avangar moving up the short position. They were in apartments as well, but I say as well, now it's just because Sanji's been taken out. Fitch has got a kill position known. Where is the bomb, though? The bomb is on James. James on short. Hasn't been seen just yet. Maybe he popped up on the radar. Slight elevation looking for Rops, but Fitch will be the one to find him. 3 versus 2. All the Mousesports players have rotated now to the B-bomb site. I say, oh, it's just 2 left. Chris J and Woxic moving forward. Sound cue's heard, but there's no... Fitch with the flank. Do they go back towards the A-bomb site? He's cleared it, but Woxic is here. He can hear Woxic. I don't know if you want to chase. 27 seconds. This is absolute carnage. They're committed to it now. James taken out. Surely you want to rotate. The bomb's been lost in apartments. He's rotating. Woxic is everywhere. 2 kills for him, and Fitch is on 4 HP. He hasn't picked up the bomb just yet. Now he has. Ooh, don't jump off the balcony. The sound cues are there for Woxic. Moving up with the smoke. No fear from him. Woxic is all over the shop. Surely they had the sound cues of him going back towards the A site. If I hear him A, I'm going B.
Oh my goodness, what a round by Woxic. He had no reason winning that round, but he just pulls out a Christmas miracle and literally just outplays 3 of Avangar's players. Such a Jamie in the halls with the bomb. That's why you don't give your AWPer the bomb, ladies and gents.
Yeah, you want to avoid that if you can.
Let him AWP so he doesn't have to worry about planning, okay? And I just can't believe he actually won that. Just turn 3 one-on-ones. Why not?
However, in the scope of the entire match, it's still a very bleak outlook for Mousesports. Woxic needed to go get that, get a clutch like that to keep them away from Avangar, away from game point. So, what else have they got? What has the rest of Mousesports got? Needs to be more than just Woxic, and Buster's looking to make life complicated. Chris J with the MP7. It is so characteristic of Chris J to be wielding that weapon. Good chip damage from the Molotov, actually. And Chris J will remain in position, which might overcommit this Banana defense. We'll see if they stick around. Okay, the smoke is still up, so they'll be okay to fall back to the site. But look at the utility. Minute to go. At this point, only now an HE left. The smoke was just deployed onto top mids. There is nothing, even a single flashbang to defend a B push. This is ideal for Avangar. Even though they're down a man and there's a 3rd person coming in to help the B defense, this is so ideal for Avangar.
Many targets spotted, and there's a distraction run. Frozen up top, Chris J round the side. And there's life in the old dog yet. It's Avangar's turn to taste the deletion. Taste the scent of deletion.
That timing of Woxic coming in was absolutely perfect. If he is, a couple seconds later than that, the smoke's down on CT, he doesn't get the opening pick. There's a player to trade Frozen, and the Avangar likely get into the bomb site, and Woxic's got a much harder job on his hands. Counter-Strike's so interesting in that way sometimes. You get that 1 kill, and that can just mean everything, just making the lives of your teammates significantly easier.
14-8. 6 rounds might not be so many, depending on the nature. It all comes down to the fashion in which Mousesports are winning the rounds. Is it comfortable? Is it consistent? I think there's a lot of variance that could potentially be had the way things are going at the moment. So, well, this is some downtime, or it should be. I say that. James has an AWP, but then so does Woxic. So we'll see how it works out. James, battle sniper time. Probably have to wait out the initial grenades and smokes and things from Mousesports. 3 Molotovs around the banana position. Nothing doing just yet. James going towards the boiler area. Nice if you can bounce a molly under porch. No one's there, and you can swing wide. Sure, there's a small percentage that somebody is on top of porch, but small percentage, sometimes you'll take that. So, on Dust 2, you can often find James peeking mid, looking for somebody to peek for information. He's essentially doing the same thing here with this angle. Does he? There is no... I don't believe anyone's on the balcony on this occasion, but if there was, would he have the flick? No, Rops is looking at the balcony. And they will bide their time, just waiting for this utility to dry up. There are still 2 smoke grenades for Mousesports. Woxic's on banana, he doesn't have one. And he's about to fall back because of this flashbang. They're going to reposition it seems, from the stairs of T-Ramp instead. The common flashbang, there it is. Woxic with great timing for the Molotov, though, which help him hold his position, but maybe he's taking this for granted because Kiket's gone beyond the angle. Surely there's a trade there, and now they can try to rush the B-bomb site.
There's a big rotation coming in, and they only have one smoke, but that's of all the retake utility, the smokes are amongst the most useful. But Keycut, he's doing the damage still. He is such a menace. Double AWPs on the B site defense. That's awful to go up against with no flashbangs and only, not enough players. So Mousesports will have to give this one up, and Avangar, they are consistent. They're consistently looking very strong. From Mousesports, they rely on clutches and clutch plays, clutch timings, but Avangar consistently getting the advantages and playing them out really effectively. And Mousesports looking like they are lacking here today on their Inferno game against Avangar.
Yeah, that was a blunder move by Woxic and Banana. There was like 30 seconds at most on the clock when he went for that aggressive B peak. You don't have to do it at that time. You're up in numbers. You have superior positioning on them. With 30 seconds left, just fall back, man. You just gotta fall back. And him dying lost him the round. He gave up not only an AWP and a kill, but the entire bomb site for them to get AWPs. You hate to see like a very, I guess, newbie mistake for a professional player.
Game point for Avangar to bring it to a third. The third would be Mirage. Walking through the flames frozen. That's a giant gamble to take. So much damage before he even got through to the other side of the choke point, and Chris J will fall to those same flames. Memories of Cloud9 on Overpass. 3 versus 3. The B-bomb site still held by Karrigan with 20 HP. There's still a chance for Mousesports, but the only utility they have is one flashbang. Rops is towards A. We've got a rotation from Woxic towards that B-bomb site. Woxic alive might be the key. There's that flash used up, and it's all about guns now for Mousesports.
Indeed, Woxic's in a good position. It's not too much. Well, there's still some flashbangs and some smokes here, so they can make his life difficult. But James probably want to go for the peak first. He may not expect that to be. Oh my God, the timing is awful for Woxic. That is so deflating. But Mousesports, there is still a chance, despite how bad this looks. Karrigan on an off angle, second oranges, looking to see if he can catch James. And I thought he had that one down to 4 HP. Now it gets impossibly difficult for Rops. Coming in from Banana, no utility to be seen. Not a kit in hand either, so... And the off angle from James, that will secure it. 16-8 Avangar tie up the series, and we will be going to Mirage after all.
The teamwork for Avangar looks so much better than Mousesports, especially their CT side. Yeah. They're always peeking together. Their flash and Molotov work in Banana were superb. They mixed up timings. They mixed up just how many people push. Avangar is just all over their place, but on their CT side, it just looks so solid all around, just like they're on the train map.
Yeah, I think they should look more solid, all things considered. That is a stark difference to the first map. Definitely answering back on their own pick of Inferno. Some nice highlights from Woxic, but plenty more frags from the likes of Jamin and Kika, which were top fragging for their squad. Really important stuff for them. This was a lovely highlight from Woxic in a lost game. That second last frag was so satisfying. Just a player in the air. Took him out like a clay pigeon. And so, just like that, we are back again. Avangar are fighting for that final place in the European part to make it to the land, to make it to London. They and Ninjas in Pyjamas are both vying for that final spot, and we're going to be watching all that action today again. ECS.facer.com is where you can find tickets if you want to make it to the finals. Get down there if you can. If you can't, then find out who is going to make it there. We'll be seeing the third map between these two shortly after the break. But indeed, there are student discounts as well. If you're a student, there are discounts available for the finals. If you're a pensioner of any kind, I've decided there are discounts, so send me a tweet if you know how to use Twitter. If not, then maybe there are no discounts for you. See you after the break for the third map of this best of 3 series, Mirage.
Faceit is the biggest competitive gaming platform with more than 10 million users. Play CSGO the way it should be played and turn your hard-earned Faceit points won in hubs, leagues and ladders, and tournaments into real prizes. Sign up for free now.
London, it's time. The ECS Season 7 finals have landed. 8 of the world's best teams will make the historic SSE Arena Wembley their battleground. But there can only be one champion. Will Astralis lift not their second, not their third, but their fourth ECS trophy? Or will a new champion rise from the furious flames of competition? Witness legends collide June 8th tonight. Head to ecs.faceit.com to secure your seat for a weekend of world-class Counter-Strike.
I have a watch in the post today. It's coming today. I have watching a post. I have 2 watches in the post. One is going to London, which is a vintage. I forget what it's called, but it's on my Twitter. The other one is a Timex reissue of a 1970s watch. I can't wait to see it, man. It looks super cool, but I might not keep it. I might give it away to one of my stream subscribers. But anyway, when it comes,
nice.
we'll put it on. We'll put it on the orange box. People have been asking where they can get one of these. Maybe I'm thinking maybe we'll like make a key ring or something. That'd be kind of cool. We wouldn't do it in time for ECS finals though, because we'll try and do something.
Maybe there's a business to be had in making.
Watch this space. If you would like one of these, be it like a coffee table, a key ring, a plushie,
an ottoman.
Then let us know. Send us some tweets. What is an ottoman?
Ottoman is like it's like a kind of like a cube or like a more of a kind of rectangular kind of long sort of thing you can sit on or put stuff on.
Okay.
Like kind of a more versatile piece of furniture. It comes in many different shapes and forms.
I will look them up on my Google device.
Yeah.
Shortly. Right then. So, Avangar had a rough first map. Second map, they had a devastating comeback as far as Mousesports are concerned, which is great revenge because I would say Mousesports had a devastating comeback in the first map. And it's Avangar who are fighting for a place at LAN at the moment. It's between them and Ninjas in Pyjamas for the most part, or entirely. So we move on to Mirage. Now, I called a 2-0. I was wrong. But I think this is a good spot for Mousesports, but I don't know how much of that is me thinking about the old Mousesports, Oscar and Connector, things like that. This is new Mousesports.
Old Mousesports was very routine and drilled and had really good team play, very innovative, especially Mirage. This Mousesports is shown to have great individuals, but they're not necessarily, all the individuals aren't necessarily all the way there insofar as experience, and they don't have the team play as well yet. And I think they're still finding their identity. So I think we can see Avangar was punishing them really hard on Inferno for that. We saw a really, really difficult time for Mousesports insofar as how lacking they seem as a unit. But Mirage, as you say, like, is a very different map. Mousesports should be able to leverage the individuals much, much, much more.
Mousesports will start on the T side. We see Rops has been given a P250 once again. Very quickly into Connector, but Boss has been taken out towards that short position. Carrigan won't do much better. Chris J trying to find some revenge. But there's a man advantage for Avangar at the moment. Rock's jumping into B, and that's where he will lie. The bomb is in Biaps at the moment, so it's looking rough for Mousesports at the moment. It is a pistol round. It can quickly change. Such is the nature of the beast. Woxic will be heard leaving, however, by the player on shore. He'll be heard going into the underpass. So all the information, well, a lot of the information is known for Avangar, not all the information. Because Chris J is making his way towards a ramp. Woxic looking everywhere but there, which is where Fitch is. So it's Chris J versus 4. Not looking good. He's got a USP though, so the range is equal. Lovely one tap from him. Fitch making his way. Surely he doesn't check off. Fitch is taking a shot now, so maybe he knows. He does have time, Chris J, to try and do this. The bomb is in that mid position. He's heading there at the moment. Surely he was just spotted there by Buster. Maybe he wasn't. Fitch having a look. Oh, he looks at the bomb, and that's a wrap. The pistol round goes to Avangar.
Pretty risky pistol by Mousesports. They put themselves in a spot where they're pretty spread out. They had one person be halls. They had Frozen and Catwalk and Kerrigan in the connector. And in order for that strat to work, Mousesports need to get a kill or something at the start of the round. Maybe on Catwalk would probably be the best spot to get the kill, so it opens up that mid completely. But Avangar just picked them off, and the strat, is just one little thing, just unraveled the whole thing. Too risky and didn't pay off.
However, the force buy could be quite dangerous.
Oh my days.
Speaking of satisfaction, speaking of danger, we have it all. We have it all here on round number 2 for Mousesports, as suddenly they'll, with that pick, make a big rotation towards A ramp. However, Keycode is there. We've seen him absolutely just destroying people. He's been annihilating everyone. He's got an MP9. He's in the perfect position. They're looking for him. He can't get the first kill, but he spotted the rotation. James very worried about that connector pinch. And it actually will be quite difficult for them to hold on to this bomb site. They don't have that much utility for the retake. There's no Molotovs, which I think would be key in holding this. And with Sanji dying, that might be a wrap. They might have to just go save this now and give it up.
That is a giant problem. Mousesports have not lost a single player in this push. Another unusual round, just like on B of Train, when they had an eco push to plant the bomb and then ended up winning the entire round. We're in a similar situation. That's SMG in the CT spawn completely failing. And that's a very weird way to lose the second round after winning the pistol. But here we are, such is life. Early pressure for Avangar. Surely there have to be some nerves. They've got to win everything today.
Surely there will be a slow motion replay of that boxing shot.
Surely.
Surely.
Shirley.
Surely.
Who is Shirley?
Who is?
Surely it's,
Surely.
it's ready.
There we go. Oh, my
Oh,
goodness.
man.
To the wall.
Bearing in mind his sensitivity, such a tiny adjustment. How is it scientifically possible?
He's used to it.
What is he using
He's used to
to
it.
control his mouse?
Being comfortable.
That means you need to double your sense, James.
Does he have some kind of robotic
Join
arm?
me.
So yeah,
Join me.
Avangar, you know, as we saw in the whole series of our, their CT side, very tight, very team-oriented, but you saw that last round, Kiko was pushed up by himself. I mean, even though he's in kind of a decent spot, there's no trade potential. And they get run over and it just snowballed into an eco loss when maybe played a different spot, would have been a whole different thing. I don't know.
I think a higher sensitivity would benefit me. But last time I significantly changed my sensitivity, I counted the days. It took me 72 days to get used to it because I'm extremely flicky.
How big was the jump?
So I think it was from 1.3 to 1.12. Or 0.9 to 1.12. It was one of those two because I've used all three. But
it took you how many days?
72 days.
Goodness, that's barely even a bump.
Because I have to reprogram all the muscle memory of every single AWP flick and among other things. Kika playing close to the CZ, so far so good, although he's only got 3 bullets left, but maybe that's enough at such a close range. The bomb has been lost through the smoke, and now Mousesports will suffer some issues. 2 versus 5 for them after winning an unlikely round in a second. It seems a mirror image on this occasion, but worse because they could lose an AK-47 unless they try to save, which may be recommended now. You could do something with these, maybe throwing them away at this point just wouldn't be worth it. And indeed, they do look to hold on to them. Busters picks up an AK-47. There's 2 AUGs and 2 pistols still for Avangar, and they'll try to contain. Now, do your pistoling players try and chase these players? Because by now you must realize that they are trying to hold on to what they have, and there will be an exchange of petrol and fire.
I'd say no. You don't know where exactly they are. And if they're stacked together, it could maybe a real big problem, losing too many players in the process. I mean, they did have 3 guns and 1 in pistol armor, so
spread the wealth.
Spread
Kika
the wealth.
survives with his Kevlar and a CZ. He has 3250. He buys utility, and he is, well, he was dropped the AK, but he kindly gives it back to the person who picked it up and takes an AUG instead. Nice exchange. And now we've got a really solid buy for Avangar and a forced buy from Mousesports. Galils, better know your spray. That should be what KYS stands for. Know your spray. Next time someone says KYS to me, I'm going to say, know your spray, question mark.
There you go.
1 minute 35. Carrigan creeping through smoke again. There could be a flashbang for him. When CTs put this smoke down, then if you're in position, there can be an argument to go through the smoke because they're probably looking over it. But sometimes there can be 2 players there. So you need to know your opponent as well. KYO. Moving into the A-bomb site are Mousesports at present, dueling in the jungle position. Kika forced back a little, gets his bell rung through the wall. James being taken out towards that jungle area. And there's Fitchin in mid position, 5 versus 3. It may be safe territory for Avangar once again, but perhaps they will not be allowed. Or Ops, was that a 2 for the price of 1, I think? They were lining up. Those X's are almost on top of each other. And Buster remains in a 1 versus 5, presumably hiding in plain sight at the moment, but it seems that he's been spotted. So he may not be long for this world, and I'm sure that AK will be gladly retrieved by Mousesports as these teams continue to trade rounds. No one with a consecutive victory just yet.
What a great round from Kerrigan to be snuck up in that connector area. Mousesports did toss a lot of smokes in the beginning of the round to get him in that position. And that allows the CTs almost to you know, sometimes pay more attention to that con or mid area, but luckily for Kerrigan, he's able to sneak on by, and then staying alive was a big important part because he got knocked down to 19 HP, and he still got a kill off of that, a huge kill.
Plus 2-2 in his scout and orb. It's very interesting, this buy from Avangar, or this weaponry situation.
There you go.
And we might see a B split, actually. That's what it appears that is set up. James on B, so that's a problem. That's a really big problem. He will lose pitch in the apartments, but James still alive and still doing damage. Another pickoff. They are feeding into him one by one. He's able to comfortably find these quick kills. No! That was an opportunity, but still there'll be more as he repositions, looking for that frag, which he missed. Another whiff shot, but still with opportunities, or maybe not. Finally denied. But seemingly, it is a struggle for Avangar, the rest of them, to get into position. Jane bought so much time.
That's absolutely insane. Chris J team flashed his teammate, basically allowing the free shot with the AWP. If he gets that shot, who knows? That angle from the site into the window is so strong. It's really hard to deal with, and he's thrown his flash already. If he lands that kill, I'm taking the round if I'm Avangar. So that is so unfortunate for them. And here we are, back again. Well, I say back again. Mousesports have won that consecutive round, finally. So Avangar may be in eco territory. Mousesports can pull away early. Again, this is Avangar's match that they have to win. Mousesports playing for prize money, essentially. They're prize fighters, whereas Avangar are playing for glory in London. Okay, well, that's a good start for Avangar. I don't expect they can capitalize on that too much, but there will be a full execute here from Mousesports.
Yeah, not too much, really, that they should, in theory, be able to accomplish. And there'll be a boost attempt here. But unless Kiko gets 2 headshots or something off of this, I don't think there's much that can be done. Okay, well, all right then. The bomb has been dropped as well.
Someone please explain what is going on.
So not only has he got the 2 kills that I asked for, he's actually got the bomb down as well, which creates a huge delay, which allows a lot of repositioning for Avangar. And even a like James going for the long flank. He's just initiated that. There's a real chance here if Avangar find good timings, but, well, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, Buster had a chance on the bomb planter, but he was afraid of getting taken out by the guy up top. And I think with that, in a 2 versus 4 where there's only pistols and no Kevlar, I think Mousesports still have a fair chance.
I think you should have peeked. If I was at Vanguard, you had like 3-4 people in the area already. Once you, even if it's a fake plant, you know where that person's at when they plant the bomb. And so that makes the killing potential a lot easier than waiting for them to plant the bomb. Then they kind of pull out the gun and you're kind of in that spot where, am I peeking? Are you peeking? Are we peeking together? So it's too late at that point. They should have peeked as soon as the bomb plant was tapped.
Well, they are on the buy anyway, as that was an eco round for Avangar, so maybe they can try to stabilize now. But they've got basically no utility after the first 20 seconds, beyond 2 smoke grenades.
Oh.
Ooh, that is a sound cue. You can see Chris J looking through the wall. He heard that. They know that there's a player close on the ramp now. That's a mistake from Avangar, which may cost them. Although, it seems they are aware of that as well. And they've moved back to CT. So that's a smart decision from Avangar. They've been looked for, and the reposition has worked out fantastic for them. Great awareness of their own mistakes from Avangar, cleaning up on the A sides as well. 4 versus 2 very quickly indeed.
It's 2 in CT though, so that might be a bit too much. 3 in CT, that surely is too much for Kerrigan to handle. I was wondering if there was a lineup possibility for him there, but now down to Woxic. And if anyone needs to do 180s, I'm confidence that Woxic will be the guy that can make that work. But he's managed to get past the connector position. He's got 50 seconds, but with 3 CTs in one spot, surely he never recovers this bomb.
Don't say never when it's Woxic. Ooh, he's being teased. Okay, there's the first one. He knows where another player is now.
Ooh, he saw it,
I think he knows that there are 2 players there now, surely. Oh, he's so fast! God damn it! 28 HP, but it will be the 3rd player ultimately to take him out. He's so dangerous.
James, raise your sends now.
He's so dangerous. Christ on a bicycle.
Go to your PC. Do it right now. I'll hold it down for you. So effortless. It's so effortless. It's just instantaneous.
It's so fast.
It's like we had major frame drops. You missed all the point A to point B is instantaneous.
Too good.
It's like the input delay on a CRT between a mouse. Doesn't exist. It's instantaneous.
Fast as light.
Exactly. Well,
this is the... Is that get right or get left? I'm not sure. Let's get right.
It's instantaneous. Just gonna keep saying that over and over again. Anyway, quick push into the B-bomb site. Kiko is wondering, what are you doing, Carrigan? Where are you going, mate? Oh no, that's disaster strikes from Mousesports. This is not really going all that well. Looks like they are struggling to get out the choke points. Beyond Carrigan, who managed to find himself a tidy, comfortable corner for a moment. It's respite.
Hello.
This looks a bit easy, doesn't it?
Goodbye.
It looks a bit too easy.
Drops to 5 HP. That was funny. It looked like Kiko was maybe at the end of his mouse pad and had to just kind of reposition. So, oh, I'm kind of stuck here.
But what was Carrigan doing? Did he even have the bomb? Did he have the bomb?
He just wanted to stand in the corner.
He wasn't even shooting his gun.
I guess he was waiting. He wanted to have an off angle for people to go past him, perhaps towards bench.
Maybe he thought it was his teammate right behind him and didn't expect a CT to be right there because his team. I mean, his entire team's in the halls at that point, anyways, right? That's the thing I want to point out is the spacing issues for Mousesports. They're like really slow on their T side of getting in the right position at the right time, exchanging kills, and not giving themselves a chance to even exchange kills at all. And you can't do that against Avangar. Their CT sides are too good.
Solid 69 damage with that grenade. This makes things a lot worse. Woxic takes some big damage as well. The cleanup should be pedestrian on the A-bomb site. Kiko in the red now, he's dead, but Jaime and Fitch will do the rest of the job. Only one play loss for Avangar, that's absolutely fine. 5-4, 3 rounds in a row. They seem to have stabilized finally on their CT side.
I feel like Sliggy was right.
Right about what?
I think Avangar are going to win.
It's not over yet. It's 5-4.
It's enough.
I mean, Mousesports is not looking, that great.
He's fickle, Eric. He's fickle.
We've seen though that Mousesports is hot and cold. Sometimes they go on fire, sometimes they just drop the ball.
Yeah, I'm just liking what I see from Avangar right now. But I mean, Mousesports will have a much better CT side. They've got great players for the CT side of Mirage, so this is the expected weaker side. But it does look a little bit flat because Avangar are so well drilled here, and Mousesports have still so much to grow, and they have so much room to grow, I should say, and so much time in which they should do it. They're still a very young lineup with very young players, actually. So, all right, we've got top mids, controlled by Mousesports, but they don't have any of the deeper positions. Getting someone into ladder room or getting someone into connector is so powerful. It's the objective to have complete by the mid rounds upon most defaults. Once you can dig in 1 or 2 players into those deep positions, it allows you to use all sorts of split possibilities, lurk possibilities, information gathering possibilities. It's very strong.
Connector is taken. Robs of a very cheeky play. Gets his bell rung. 4 HP is enough to just lurk, to be present, to be a worry for Avangar as Mousesports continue to split this A-bomb site. He can wait in Palace post plant, but he's actually... Okay, wow. Chris J has the bomb, and all of a sudden, just like that, everybody is deleted on the A-bomb site. And now Chris J makes his way towards B, which is currently empty, but Bus is on the way.
Imagine how frustrating that is for Mousesports. Maybe they've, having Fitch just run through a smoke, just at a random timing with no flashbang, no warning, just through that smoke. Now they got a 2 versus 4 to play. Chris J baits it out. Oh, he can't connect the headshot. You thought he would have had that one. He had the crosshair placement and everything, but the first bullet just didn't go where it needed to go. And now it's Robs to 4 HP. And indeed, that push through the smoke from Fitch, that kind of ended the round, it seems.
So if I was Mousesports and I'd be watching this whole series, is like to kind of pick for mistakes. There are a lot of rounds on their T side when they're in transition of either taking a choke point, tossing nades. Avangar have been doing these little small plays, pushing through smoke and getting 1 or 2 kills almost multiple times. So as as IGL, you kind of think, okay, what do we got to change up as we're executing? Maybe we got to pump fake, maybe just toss some nades and wait back, maybe have a person more dedicated for the smoke pushers, because they're getting caught off way too many times in this series alone.
Now it's down to this. They go for the Avangar buy with Robson and the AK, everyone else on a save. But James shows that only Avangar allowed such a play.
He saved it for the last round. It wasn't a hero buy this time.
Oh, of course. I'm so stupid.
It's okay.
I should be fired immediately.
No. We all make mistakes. We're human, Dan.
No.
I've never made a mistake.
But you're exceptional, okay? So I'm talking
Wow,
about...
don't just give him that just straight away.
It's too late now. It's happened. It's done. It's too late. You can't take it back. It was said. It's history.
Dan, I want to do more shows, okay? That's how you have to do it.
That has to be done.
That's how you do it.
That's not my
You're
choice,
the
man.
best player I've ever played with, James. I've never seen someone so better. I want to learn from you.
Now you're taking the piss.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, looks like A with Smokes is the play. Set piece coming in shortly here from Mousesports. And Avangar are fairly well set up to deal with this. They've got 2 players on the sites. They've got 4 players on A effectively here. So Hika opens it up with the first kill, the second kill. How many more kills will Sanji get? Because they may expect that Kiko was the default guy and that there won't be another one lurking around. But there he is. He finds the bomb as well. So 2v2, however, so he's to smoke off this position and make it as awkward as possible. Buy time for Jame. Jame gets the backstab on Chris J, meanwhile, in CT spawn, and he's in perfect position to catch Froze, and it couldn't have gone better for Jame.
The history of violence here on Mirage. Brutal rounds from Avangar. Really in their groove now. 6 rounds in a row. Thriving in the action, in the war of attrition. They come out on top again and again.
Whoa.
That's a nice one by
Nice
Frozen.
replay there of the flashbang.
I like it.
We got a tactical timeout. Can we see that again?
Wow, they call it timeout. That's amazing. I'm glad they're
This
actually...
is your favorite part of the game?
Can we see that
I
again?
like when coaches use their timeouts. They have 4, and you've used 1 or 2 of them in the whole series so far. I don't even know. It's been that little.
Dad's begging for replays.
I want to see that no one but me mentioned this flashbang that Eamon carefully selected. Oh, that's satisfying.
Here we go.
Isn't that satisfying?
Dan's new play on Mirage.
That's your new play.
Well, that is something that I've done before, but it's so satisfying.
No, you don't. You die on ramp. You don't get that far into A.
It's satisfying. Hey James, he's almost level 8.
Look, man, don't get me started.
I want going for a level 8 now.
On all that nonsense.
Solo queue all the way.
I'm being persecuted.
Okay, this is a classic mid setup here for Avangar. Well, not Avangar specifically, but in generally in CT side Counter-Strike at the professional level, you see this setup. It's a more conservative one where you don't... Fnatic made popular a 3-man setup in mid a long time ago, but this is a more conservative one. Only 2 players. Fitch covers underpass, extreme off angle. You're never looking to Fitch's position. Jame covers the person trying to trade, and then you can turn around in Fitch's spot and assist Jame, and you can see it works out beautifully well.
This is going swimmingly for Avangar.
Swimming. It's like swimming with the what are those little dolphin things that you put on like the flippers? Like flippers, they have flippers.
Little dolphin things you put on flippers.
No,
what on earth are you talking
I had a
about?
pause then and said flippers. It's like putting on the flippers.
Little dolphin things
you feel more powerful.
You put on the flippers.
Just looking at
or like a sticker.
Just looking for a way, James. Any desperate way to get back at me for calling out
That
your level 3?
Sense. That makes no sense.
That's because I was searching for something.
Second last round of the first half, we've got a buy for both sides. Mousesports in possession in mid. They've got that high smoke on connector. Could this be a B split? The bomb is in B apartments at the moment. They could jump into the window. We've got the deep Molotov that may delay things for the CTs. I don't know if that covers the crawl space. James seems to be focused on that. Buster might have an idea as to what's going on, but he's going to take one in the face. Maybe the bomb's on the radar, but look at the position for Mousesports. They are all over the B bomb site. This is what I'm talking about. A nice solid B split. Don't tell me it's too hard. You just got to do it properly.
Indeed, it looks like Avangar, they don't really have a way back in. They've got so much money, but it seems as though they've already accepted the fact that this is just never happening. As, you know, a 5 versus 3, there's still post-plant utility. There's a smoke and a Molotov still at this point, so...
Yeah, I mean, it's last round, and everyone could buy. You should be going for this. And that's, I think, one of the problems with Avangar. Maybe they save too much. I've never said that before, that's saving too much, but You know, you got.
Well, you gotta protect the stats. Okay.
Get out of here.
Obviously, that's what they're doing.
You need to go for this.
Let's not pretend like that's not the case.
If anyone knows what a dolphin thing on a flipper means,
oh, I'm sorry, James.
Please send me a tweet.
I'm sorry.
Because we're still trying to investigate.
That I didn't know what a word was.
What planet Dan is on. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything.
That's because it's not supposed to mean anything.
You don't have a dolphin thing on the flipper.
I'm looking for a word, James, and I come to this what the word is,
what word
and I insert the word that was
missing.
What
word could possibly solve that
I
jigsaw?
feel like you're grasping for straws, as you're the person that
you're grasping for dolphins on flippers.
You speak the most stuff that doesn't make any sense, James.
I just want to point out how much
Talk about
extra
calling
money,
a kettle black.
How much extra money Avangar have. That's why you need to go for it. That's way too much money. It's last round.
Yeah.
6K, 5K. Come on.
They are the team who normally have the presence of mind.
That's why they have an extra AWP.
To do something like that.
You drop 2 more AWPs if you want to, Dan.
Kiko was... Where's Kiko? Because he was ferrying the AWP. Okay, so he's got the AUG behind it. Okay, so he's...
he's got options.
Yeah. Doesn't matter, though.
All right, so Sanji's dropped his smoke grenade for the retake. Buster, how's he missed that one? He had 2 targets. Kind of gliding across the floor. Oh, there are problems now. Does he get another chance? He does, and he'll finally deliver. Sanji's been taken down in the meantime. He did drop a smoke grenade to allow his teammates to rotate in through the door with some semblance of cover. A lot of players towards short already, but the rotation in market is quite late, so that smoke won't do too much. Maybe it'll stop the advance of Mousesports. Only one player towards the bench. Many around default. Woxic moved forward, was forced back by a Molotov. There's a shot through the window. Kika in the smoke. 2-in shot. Woxic's all over the place once again. Man advantage is increased by Mousesports, who look good for round number 6 here as we move to half-time. There's not much Buster can do. It's about the stats once again, Dan, because he cannot win this round.
Same for the next half.
So it's a great play from Woxic, but one point to make actually about Buster. Although Buster's obviously not a primary AWPer, he wasn't hitting many shots there. There was actually a huge impact that he had, but maybe, because we have to go to a break, I'll have to continue.
Yes, maybe you will. And there's time during the break to figure out dolphin flippers, things like that. Don't forget to tweet us. See you after the break.
Cuando yo te vi, sentí que eras para mí. Te quiero descubrir y yo no quiero compartir. Tus ojos brillan fuera de tu control. Cuando yo te vi, sentí que eras para mí hoy. Ay, 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 te voy a enseñar, te voy a silenciar.
Marvelous. We are back. We have returned. Avangar on the T side. Kikut with grenades. No. Oh, there is a P250 on Kikut. He's kept it for himself. No raid boss. He's naked. He's a nudist. On the nudist beach. Karrigan As a smoke and diffuse kit for the CT side. Woxic with a P2000. And the rest with USPs. Avangar moving the bomb away from B. Jame in the underpass. Woxic in the window. And Rops is spotting. Waiting to see what will be. They move forward, Avangar. Now we've got 4 of the 5 players here. Does James stay to cut off rotation? Lovely one tap from Rops to start off the proceedings. We've got 3 players remaining now for Avangar. It's all about the headshots. The smoke has been deployed and a bomb has been planted. Rops creeping, but he has been denied by security. Thrown out onto the street. Man advantage is not going to last very long for Mousesports as Woxic gets taken out. Carrigan still has that smoke and diffuse kit, which is all important. He's on the site as well, and the smoke is up. He's on the bomb. Is anybody in position to stop this, actually? We've got people fishing, and there it is. He makes it look pedestrian. The pistol round stolen by Mousesports with the diffuse and the smoke.
Kit and the smoke on pistol MVP. Carrigan making it work, even though Avangar, interesting, I guess, A bomb site take for pistol. Usually you see a couple more smokes if you decide to hit A. Avangar trying to skimp it with, I think they only had 1 smoke towards connector. And it's pretty much run and gun. If they didn't give away 2 early kills, maybe that round could have won for Avangar. Who knows? But the past is the past.
Bomb's been left in T-spawn for the time being, which is fine. It can be rotated in any direction. Keycode approaches the bomb. Keep an eye on the radar. What will he do? Mystery. Soon to be solved. The bomb has been collected. He moves it away. There we go. Mystery solved. Just like that. Poirot in 10 seconds. 2 Avangar players in the mid position, which has comfortably been given up by Mousesports. They do not need that. You cannot plant the bomb in mid. You can get drawn into unfavorable fights in mid and rounds such as this. The range isn't perfect with SMGs against potentially a force-buying T-side. Armor and Deagle could go a long way. So Mousesports have chosen to fight on different battlegrounds. You can see James trying to creep up short with the AK-47 in tow, but he has no helmet. He's up against an MP9, I do believe, just like the guys in apartments. Carrigan bouncing a flash off. That will block Fitch's movement as well. Continuing to do great damage with that MP9. He's warming them up for them to be toasted by the rest of his teammates. And now James has an AK to hold on to. And he, as you can see, he's fired some bullets. They know there is an AK, a juicy AK-47 to collect somewhere. 27 seconds. He's hiding in plain sight. The bomb's being protected, so there is a chance that he may survive.
Yeah, there is. With only 15 seconds left, Mousesports does have the bomb at B. No reason. I mean, obviously you want to get rid of the gun, but it's more detrimental right now as a CT to die than to chase a gun off of Jamie. And that's one of the I guess, risk of trying to contact out halls like that without much utility. You saw Carrigan playing by the van spot. Very good spot that if you don't Molotov off, it's just a super awkward angle for the T's to try to overrun because you expose yourself from so many other angles from Cat and in the bomb site. Mousesports playing the right setup at the right time.
9-8. I'm interested in where this game is going. I really am. Lovely taps of an AK-47. You love to see that. Such a rare occurrence to see taps from range. Buster almost ringing out a football chant on the A-bomb site. There is a smoke for the Youngle position, I do believe. There we go. Our replay guy did that yesterday. I learned that one a long time ago, and then I forgot it. Too many nades, not enough time. Inverse bomb plant will be successful just about. If it was default, it wouldn't have made it there. And maybe there's a chance for James. Again, an AK and no helmet. There's Frozen taken out, which leaves him to deal with Chris Jason bursts, and that will do the job. Double figures for Avangar.
You can see that round was a good example of the timing of Avangar, how it seems to be on a better timing than Mousesports. As soon as Mousesports killed 2 people in mid, Avangar was already out halls and ramp, trying to take advantage of the lack of amount of people in the A-bomb site. So very crisp, very fast to react to Mousesports' heavy mid-stack that round.
145, Woxic. on the other side of the window. They're lining up in T-ramp, but only one is tagged. Maybe that's enough. Rops can try to be the cleanup man. There's the bomb spotted, trying to buy time for the rotation now. Grenades flying through, trying to fall back. I love the pre-fire by the bricks as he makes his way back towards CT Sport. Rops is such a good player to watch. Avangar moving through the A bomb site, but James looking for a rotation. He's looking for a flank. He's not even top mid. He's just at the entrance to B apartments. I'm sure he'll be on a late rotation. You can see the bomb there, trying to plant the bomb for him. That hasn't quite worked out. Now the smokes are disappearing. They've got problems. He needs to get his rotation on, but there's still a player in short. So Avangar have lots of problems, but they do have time. They basically have no grenades at this point. A double face from Buster. Didn't expect that, and that makes things even worse. Sanji knows there's another one there. He knows there's players towards CT as well. We've got James now who's crept up to the connector position. He knows there was a player short, but there's no peeks. Mousesports have the personnel, they have the angles, so they need not peek immediately or all the time. Seems Sanji will try to plant the bomb once again. James looking for Frozen and ladder in, finds him, but, well, the bomb will get planted after all. The CTs have all the information. Vanguard know where 2 of the 3 players are. There is an AWP lurking. All 3 players from Mousesports are super tagged. Sanji running out of bullets. The reload is there, though. They've crossed the angle. James baiting, allowing them to run into his teammate. Sanji with the continuation spray all the way. And that is another round in the bag. Great stabilization from Avangar in a really tough position.
Yeah, now Mousesports is in a spot where they're going to have to save here. And Avangar just slowly picking apart Mousesports. And again, like I'll keep saying it, the spacing, timing of Mousesports is way off. If you're up in numbers, obviously you want to put yourself in spots where you exchange kills, and Mousesports is not doing it. Very basic fundamental, but it's costing them rounds to make them lose the match.
Uh-oh, this could be a problem. These bullets are not connecting. Sanji's got to do more. The smoke is up. Maybe time to fall back. He'll hold the door position. That is some information. See the P shooters, the USPs tapping away. But Avangar will not be deterred. Thinning the numbers. Like Donald Trump's hairline.
Don't say his name. Don't give him more credit.
He's in a WWE Hall of Fame.
No. What can you do, man?
Who can forget the hair versus hair match?
I never saw it. Who's the other hair?
Vince McMahon.
Does he have a wig?
He doesn't have a wig, no. He's got a full head of hair, but there was a hair versus hair match. And I think Donald Trump shaved Vince McMahon's head. Oof. Good times. 50 seconds remaining. Rops unable to fire a bullet from his pistol. And now it is Frozen. Bomb has been planted. He's all that remains.
And Vangar's not letting one person being killed off there, so the money just keeps on rolling, building up. Have a nice little bankroll. Got something to fall back on, you know. You invest something, doesn't go well. You're not selling your houses or liquidating anything. It's good stuff. But now this is a big round for Mousesports. Not only to get more rounds on their CT side, but to stop the momentum of the Vanguard train. Because the Vanguard wants to win. They want it, James. They want it.
12-8. Org-mageddon. Robs will start off the apocalypse from CT spawn. We've got grenades flying through. He'll avoid most of the flashbangs. He's got his angle. He focuses on the palace. He's got Woxing to focus on the lower area. But he's on fire. Being on fire, not recommended for humans. Because you often tend to die. Buster in the sandwich position. You can see people playing in the ninja spot. And he fell there by accident, which is what led them to this position. 4 versus 2. The stairs peek is a very difficult one to do. Frozen, he wants the PCB skin. The printed circuit board. Does he go for the spray? Oh, reposition from Sanji. Frozen switching from gun to gun. He's lining up, but he will not get the kill. 13 rounds for Avangar. They're looking good. 4 rounds in a row. Is anything left for Mousesports? Probably not in this round. But who knows what is to come after that.
What do you do if you're Mousesports? Vanguard's just picking you apart. You're not hitting your shots. I'm thinking more ops. You know, if you're going to play a team that's going to slow roll a lot of times or do a lot of pick strats, which Vanguard's known for, usually a double op setup can be a good solution to mitigate, you know, a lot of this slow peak and make Vanguard use more set piece kind of strats, which could be more in favor for Mousesports.
Big deagle shot from Chris J. But they need a lot more than that. Woxic with the... I forget what that P2000 is called. It's got a scorpion on the side of it. It's my favorite P2000. But anyway.
The copper snake.
He is, he's found a bomb, but he's gone beyond it. He has information. You can see Buster quietly looking, as is Carrigan. Rops has found himself an AK-47, but this is surely safe territory for him. Oh, that would have been everything. Absolutely everything. They just left the bomb to be collected on its own, and now things start to change. Rops, oh, that's beautiful from Rops. He can reposition as well, quietly moving. He's got an off angle. Surely they do not expect this. Oh, this could be absolutely crazy. Rops with 2 kills so far. Sanji looking. He got the 1 versus 1. That could have collapsed for Avangar. Left the bomb to be retrieved by just the 1 player.
Oh my goodness, that was such a blunder from a Vanguard. Not only did they leave the bomb and spawn, had to go all the way back and get it. Buster decides to go through middle, the catwalk to, instead of maybe the long hauls all the way down to B. It's too risky, and they end up causing 2 deaths. Maybe not a big deal right now, but if this becomes a closer match, that could make all the difference.
And that potential closer match starts here. Chris J pushing catwalk. To me, it's such a Forest move. Always see Forest doing this. Can he be as effective? Oh man, that's so disappointing. He hits 4 bullets, but Kikert gets that 1 that counts. And in goes the A attack. Avangar have dropped the bomb, has been collected by Buster, but getting it planted is going to be difficult. Rob still lurking around the triple position. Eventually Fitch will find him, but there is a big position for here for Woxic. He won't get the killing blow though, which is very unfortunate for him. Frozen looks away for the flashbang, but still, they're going to be easy work for him as they're not even looking his way. Down to Kikert and James, and maybe Mousesports have actually done enough here. This has been a very labored fight around the A bomb site. And Carrigan's wary of potential players around B, despite the bomb being on A right now. And the lurk is actually through window. Will this lurk do the damage? Kikert has 4 HP. Carrigan's out of the picture at the moment, although he's actually on catwalk, so he has vision now. He might actually be the one to get the kill. It's Frozen though. And Mousesports. That round was so labored, but they get it across the line at least.
Now Mousesports with a little bit of life. Springing up, showing us that they're not out of it just yet. They've won 1 round, but they can string some together. They're known to do that. They can get some kills, get some rounds.
Get some kills, get some rounds.
Good time.
Maybe even the W.
5-round recovery required for Mousesports. Ooh, this is dangerous. Mihu does these kind of things, but he puts the smoke out on short to give him more cover. A ding-dong from Chris J. And Fitch is taken out. Sanji will answer violently, however. Will they expect Frozen in that position? Were 2 sets of footsteps heard at the same time by James, moving through the underpass. Buster coming out of the Palace position. This is rude. There's a lack of respect from Avangar, and it's putting them in a good position. Woxic taken out and connected. There's 1 trade from Frozen, but there's still 3 players alive for Avangar to the 2 of Mousesports.
Bomb has been planted. Although Sanji's very out of position, so this is effectively a 2v2 for quite some time. So Sanji will begin to speed things up. As time is of the essence here for that flank's activated, but not even required. And Avangar, they have moved to match points. Mousesports facing elimination.
That was a crazy, crazy round. It's really daring to come out of Palace like that, exposed to the whole site, but Buster does it with perfect timing And here we are, match point for Avangar. Quite a few of them, and look at the situation for Mousesports. They've gone double naked AWP and a scout onto Woxic. There's a scout doing a great job so far. Maybe the AWP is going to follow up. That may lead Avangar into a false sense of security. Woxic in mid with a scout. Surely they don't expect not one, but 2 AWPs on the map after that.
I wonder what kind of play they're going to go for, because you can see Mousesports have this gamble stack towards the A-bomb site. At this point, they've lost all control around middle, and so the connector and A-ramp split is a huge threat. And also, what is a threat is the lurk-through window in through market, which is the reason why Rops has now gone towards CT to cover that very potential danger. And Avangar are shifting around the map. They've got so many options here. They could try to fake A and then go B with the bomb. They could just all go for, you know, this classic connector and ramp split onto the A site. But we've got Kiko walking onto the site. Oh, actually, I should say crawling onto the side. He's crouching all the way, almost, and he finds Chris J. There's the trade. That's a huge info play from Keykurt, and Sanji capitalizes nicely. They go for the plant on the triple boxes, and this is such an explosive play here for Avangar. I like how quick this was. And now Frozen from the flank. He hears Jame. He hears the scope. Can he punish? Surely he can. Well, Rops definitely will. Smoke on the bomb, and where's Avangar? They've all voided the positions on the bomb site. They're looking to spray down the boxes. And it's going to work. Fitch knows his angles.
2 more AWPs, and they don't have a defuse kit. And that is going to be that. Avangar 16-9 on Mirage. A solid victory from them, despite the comeback on train from Mousesports. Really nice stuff. They had to win. They've pretty much got to win everything this week to make it to LAN, as do Ninjas in Pajamas. So we'll be playing next. More about that later. But what did we think of this from both sides?
I thought Mousesports looked a little flat today. They didn't have like perfect strats or anything like that, but their timing was really off. Not only in their T and CT side, it was just wasn't as good as Avangar, and I can't stress it enough. If you have good timing, you gotta have good spacing on T or CT side. You don't need complex strats. You just need to, you know, be at that place at the right time together. And Mousesports, you know, they didn't have anything going for them.
Yeah, I think Avangar basically have the thing that Mousesports need the most, which is that really tight team play and routine. Because Avangar, if we can see anything here, is that except for Train, they're a really balanced team overall. They've got a great understanding of how to play CT and T side, and they've got their own style as well, which can be difficult for a lot of teams to contest with. So impressive stuff from Avangar, but for me, I always expected a strong performance from them. But Mousesports, you know they have the talent, but they couldn't find a way to get the talent going today.
Right, we have the HyperX Factor play of the game from that match to have a look at. I wonder if it's going to be Woxic on Inferno. That's my bet. They didn't really... was it Inferno? Yeah, it was Inferno.
It's gonna be true.
Well, it is Woxic. I mean, he gives you a number of opportunities. That was a lovely shot in the face. Continuing to deliver as well. His flicks are so fun to watch his POV. It really is super awesome. Had some nice ones on Inferno as well, but that's the one from Train. So there's your HyperX Factor play of the game. And we've got 3 more of those to come during today's show. After the break, it's going to be Optic versus Ninjas in Pajamas. Avangar passed the first test. Can NIP do the same? Let's find out after the break.
Faceit is the biggest competitive gaming platform with more than 10 million users. Play CSGO the way it should be played and turn your hard-earned Faceit points won in hubs, leagues and ladders, and tournaments into real prizes. Sign up for free now.
London, it's time. The ECS Season 7 finals have landed. 8 of the world's best teams will make the historic SSE Arena Wembley their battleground. But there can only be one champion. Will Astralis lift not their second, not their third, but their 4th ECS trophy? Or will a new champion rise from the furious flames of competition? Witness legends collide June 8th tonight. Head to ECS.faceit.com to secure your seat for a weekend of world-class Counter-Strike.
And I believe in a summer sky and the waves on a restless ocean.
Avangar must win the entire week to make it to LAN. If anybody else wins, NIP go to LAN. NIP are playing right now. Let's look at the veto. Let's see where they'll be playing. The Battleground. Ninjas in Pajamas playing Optic. If you're wondering what the other teams this week are doing, they're playing for prize money, man. There's cash money every single week. They're prize fighters. They're here for the monies, for the briefcase full of cash, for the brown envelopes. Nuke, Dust 2, and Mirage will be where we are fighting. Marvelous stuff. This is a nice series for Ninjas in Pajamas. There are some rumors that Optic are looking to replace Snappy with a player I'm not familiar with, Tess says, or something along those lines. So, I mean, Optic are a team which were cobbled together. It was an international team, ended up being a Danish team after some anime betrayals in North America, and they're still. I think there's most of their journey is ahead of them at this point. I think it's fair to say. Let's do the predictions, guys, because we are about 50 minutes behind schedule after that best of 3. I'm going to pick Ninjas in Pajamas. I think they are returning to form, which everybody's happy to see. I think you've got to pick NIP in this way.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Dan. Eric, what do you think?
I'll pick NIP as well.
Connor, I assume you're not crazy.
No, yeah, I pretty much second everything you say.
Okay, marvelous. It's pretty straightforward here in the studio. The pinnacle predictions in the studio. It's all Ninja Stars. Shurikens?
Shuriken.
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 Okay.
Shurikens.
That's one thing I've never bought. I have 3 samurai swords. I had 2 axes. I've got 3 shotguns. I have the size that Ninja Turtles had. among other things, but I never got the.
You had the what then in the total
shurikens.
side?
The size.
Oh, the side daggers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
like the butterfly knives.
Mine. I have like a bunch of Chinese weapons as well, but I disposed of some because I was like, I'm through this phase now. Anyway, fan predictions. What do the people out there think is going to be? We got a 32%. That's crazy, man. I think that's crazy. Maybe I'm wrong. I think I'm right.
I think it's a little too low. I mean, I think these maps actually kind of favor Optic a little, or it's Optic style. But they want to play Nuke, they want to play Dust too.
Okay.
So.
I just think that Ninjas in Pajamas are too strong at this point.
They are.
Yeah.
They never know, I guess.
Yeah.
They've had some good consistency of late as well, and they are like they have earned the HLTV power rankings at least 5th spot in the world. Oh wait, hang on, no, hang on. Is it?
They're up there.
Fnatic might be 5th. Fnatic are either 5th or 4th, and NIP 1 slot behind them. So effectively top 6.
Okay.
Anyway, so it's obviously they're very good, and they're established. They're an established lineup. They've got a great map pool at this point as well. Nuke is a fantastic map for them. In fact, all of these maps are great for NIP. So
the odds by Pinnacle there were pretty reasonable, I think, for both teams. I don't know what Optic's rank is at the moment. I'll check in a second, but
19 is my guess.
About 19.
19.
27 say 22nd says Connor. So, I mean, what do you think of Optic as a team? Do you think they're a complete team, or do you think they're still like cobbled together, trying to find the right pieces? Because I feel like we've had a few of those types of projects, mostly in North America, but that's kind of started in North America and made its way to Europe.
Well, Optic with I thought they're going to use Yugi as their opper, but they got rid of him. And so I don't know, I've always a mixed feeling. Like they're always inconsistent, like super inconsistent. They have some strats, and you're thinking of with MSL that they're going to have some kind of coordinated special T sides, but it hasn't shown too much. So I really want to see on this map, are they able to outplay NIP?
not a good start. Taking a lot of nade damage. But they are delivering some headshots, but as is Rez, it's 2 versus 3 though. There's a gap in the smoke, an enormous cavernous gap that Forest will be able to exploit. And Lecro finds a timing that Snappy cannot deal with, leaving MSL with everything. But now he's got nothing.
Nothing but the boots on his feet. And they may get taken as well. They may get taken as well. Ninjas in Pajamas with a great HE into the hut position on the pistol round, doing big damage. One to consider if you are defending the A-bomb site. Look at, oh, it's already come and gone at this point. Oh, that is amazing. That is an amazing shot from Refresh. The way he's looking around as well, that's
see it again.
nasty.
Let's see that again.
Let's see it again.
I want to see that one again. Yeah.
That's asking a DJ to rewind every game now.
That's good. That's, you know, for those of you guys who care about the mechanics and stuff, that's a good mouse lift right there. Unless he has a super high sense, but I think that's just like a mouse lift. Resets your aim. In a completely different place, like he teleports.
Or refresh his aim.
Shut up.
You had it on a platter, Dan. It was for you, for the taking.
Yeah, I just don't go. It's too low hanging. It's like
Someone's
like underground.
Yeah, we're more giraffes than llamas.
You know, someone's gonna take it.
I don't know if llamas eat fruit, but you know, the best I could do.
Llamas are cool.
They spit in your face.
I put my hand in a donkey's mouth once.
That's just idiotic, James.
That's weird.
I soon learned it was idiotic, yes. Was it donkey? No, it was a llama. Or was it a pony?
If you can't tell the difference between a donkey and a llama, we've got problems.
I'm not sure if it was one of those two or a pony, to be honest. It was a long time ago.
How could you not tell between a llama and a donkey, James? They're very different. Very different.
I can't remember. Well. Anyway, then NIP are having problems trying to defend their buy at the moment. Nice spray from Dennis, but he's low on bullets now, and surely Config knows that. He's in the red. He's in the squeaky position. Lecro showing presence elsewhere. There's Dennis taking one in the back of the face, leaving Lecro to reposition. Last spotted around the main area, or mini if you're in North America. He moves towards the elevation of heaven. Got his M4A4 up, creeping around the ladder. MSR taken out, but he can't get the trade. Doesn't see config, it seems. 6 HP, Jesus.
Camouflage right there, but not really. Standing out in the open, and luckily, Optic be able to pull that round win. I like the strat. Force Spy, Nuke is a map that you can really abuse with some armor AKs. Get up close.
Yep. I actually have a quick point as well about the hut push on the pistol round, although it was a couple rounds ago. That's something I see more and more commonly. I think teams recognizing that you can get out so quickly from the hut. Obviously, the only thing that really screws you is fast timings on nades. It's the only thing that stops that. But otherwise, if the CTs don't do that, you're out on the bomb site, you can plant almost immediately, and it's awful for the CTs. So you got to get the nades in the hut. And that's beautiful. I love good CZ usage. It feels very satisfying. Zekro can't get it done with that. Deagle nor can Forest with the CZ ultimately, as a 3v3 for NIP on the lower bomb site to try to go for the retake. And they do have some position. Does that work with a UMP?
I don't think so.
I feel like no. I feel like it definitely doesn't. I feel like that definitely doesn't work with the UMP. But perhaps he's just trying to distract. Get right, he's making it work. Diving around the corner like a hero. Maybe there's a chance now, thanks to Get Right. Oh, that's a... Get Right is doing massive damage with this UMP.
There's no kit. Ooh, it's going to be a close one. Let's see.
He's got this. Oh, I think he's got this. He's good. No! He had it!
Now, if you're
Well,
playing...
he didn't have it then. That's why he's dead.
If you're playing... If you have the 10-second music on, you would have known if you had it or not.
I refuse.
You need to put it on. Just have it on low volume.
I've never needed it, but I normally... I'd say I'm right about 90% of the time. But recently I got 2 wrong in a row, and I was very upset with myself.
So you need the music.
So now I'm doubting myself, which is why I was non-committal there. I was like, I don't know.
So now you need the music.
I will not put the music on.
You have to play with music.
No.
90%. It doesn't sound like you said 90%.
I will not put the music on. I will not use tooltips to find a bomb in the smoke either. Snappy and Nico taking massive Molotov damage, but they've got position. They've got the frags, but they won't last very long. But the spray will favor them eventually. Forest running out of bullets, falling to the low ground. Rez walking straight into MSL. What's he doing there? Forest on the floor, 30 HP, Molotovs galore. 2 players by Squeaky. He's been flashed off position. He could be on the site. They don't know. He's in the hut, however. And they're moving towards the B bomb site, both in tandem almost. MSL looking for the rotation, it seems. He's 100 HP, so why not? Down he goes, Forest, straight into the welcoming headshot of MSL. 3-1 for Optic. So far, so good.
A quick point of reference for those of you at home. Last time we watched NIP play in the previous week of ECS, Eric, I think, correctly pointed out that for him, NIP showed maybe one of the best T-sides on Nuke scene in this iteration of Nuke.
Yeah, everything